It is Friday again, buddy. What's going on?
Well, it's been a very long, grueling, probably week and a half of grudge matches after grudge matches after grudge matches after grudge matches.
It has been. We had a long weekend of grudge matches.
I want to say, and we didn't even film them all. I put some of them just on the Pigeon Coop page, and we had a few of those, and it was a lot of fun. But you'd be surprised. I mean, this poor table right here, I recovered it probably, what's it been, maybe 3 weeks ago. And, I got to give props to Dustin Duche. He slid in here sometime today, and he restretched the cloth and everything because it was getting a little saggy down there for some reason. We kind of lost a little bit of the grip. So he must have came in today. Thank you, Dustin. And he restretched out the felt, re-got it. I mean, this thing's, running tight. Running quicker. I know some people complain, it looks slow. Well, it's faster than a normal bar table for sure, but it's not a diamond quality, If you want a diamond, I guess you have to go buy one.
Right.
I just, someday hopefully we'll have one here at the Coop, but as finances are dictating right now, the Valley is the best we're going to do right now. So, we're going to put some different cloth on it. We're going to speed it up a little bit. So that's going to help. But right now we're sticking with the Valley.
It's better than drilling holes in the floor and playing on the floor.
Well, yeah, we could play on the concrete. That would be pretty fast.
Make a new interesting game.
Or we could just take the felt off the pool table.
Right, and just play on the slate.
You could play on the slate and see how that works out.
That'd be weird. It'd be like some of those pictures and videos you see from over across the, they're playing on mud tables and all that.
Well, I've seen, I don't know if you've seen them, but they got those pool tables out now that they're glass. You can see through.
Oh, yeah.
And they're playing on them. And I was watching a video on it the other day, and I'm like, you can see them. They're hitting the ball and they're backing it up and stuff like that. I don't know how that works.
I saw that too. How do they get in those kind of actions?
Well, not to mention, I'm never going to buy a pool table that looks like that. But I mean,
I couldn't.
Once again, finances are dictating my
value. I was
Valley.
say you would have to have a lot of money and not spend any of it on beer. Hey, Matt, what's going on?
Is that Matt
Schneider?
Schneider, yes. Well, we're going to be talking about you here shortly.
Yeah, he says the table's fine. He says F the whiners.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can't make everybody happy. And everybody's got their own opinion of what the equipment they want to play on, the balls they want to play with, the cue ball. A lot of people are real fussy about the cue ball. I mean, as long as it's not a mud ball off of just a regular table, I'm pretty fine with about anything. I can adjust to about anything, so it doesn't matter to me. But some people are fussy about the equipment that they play with. And that's one of the biggest problems that I think we have in pool today. Is there's too much different equipment, whether you're racking, spotting the 9-ball on the spot, or you got this rule, this break rule, that break rule. You can't use a jump cue. You can use a jump cue. There's all sorts of different things. I think we need to find, well, first of all, you got to get big money involved.
Right. Oh yeah, everything.
If you can get big money involved, that would solve all that problems. You would have a standard ball. You'd have a standard cue ball. You would have a table, a standard player table and cloth and all that stuff that you're playing on. But everything's different, and that's just the way that it is right now. So that's just how it goes, and that's just what we do. But thanks for the input, Matt. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And the table does play fine. It plays fine.
Oh.
Valleys always have their little imperfections in them, but I've played on diamond pool tables brand new that also have little flaws in them too. So, it is what it is. Yeah. But don't get me wrong. I'd rather have a diamond sitting here, but that's just, like I said, finances dictate that I'm playing on this Valley. And that's just the way it goes.
Well, we're going to start us a fundraiser. Get Hollywood a diamond.
Yes, I want a 9-footer and hey, if you guys could get Sam Henderson a 9-footer and get a cloth on his new table. I could get one too. Come on now.
I got you. So you're going to notice a couple of new things scrolling across on the ticker down there at the bottom. I know it's a lot, but it's good information. Real quick before I get to that, unfortunately, there's not a lot of new news as far as Illinois-based leagues and tournaments and stuff like that. We're still in a holding pattern. I know everybody was excited for tonight because a lot of things were changing. Some places that weren't open are opening this coming weekend, and the beginning of next week, a lot of new things are opening.
Do they call it what? Phase 3? Phase 3.
Phase
3, looking to get to phase 4 quickly. I know that like we've got downtown. Just here in Rock Falls, we do have the outdoor seating.
Yep.
Open it up for some of these bars like the Whiskey Barrel.
Mm-hmm.
I got a Whiskey Barrel T-shirt on tonight.
You're wearing a nice Whiskey Barrel shirt.
I got the right next door. You know, you got the cooler next door that's opening up. Froggy's is doing something too, right?
They are not doing outdoor service. They are still doing their
Curbside, but
curbside stuff. Yeah,
they still have their curbside.
They don't have the facilities for the outdoor. So
right. And that's the unfortunate thing about it is now we're getting to the point where some of these facilities can open up as far as it goes for outdoor, seating and eating, drinking, whatever. At a limited capacity, but at least they got something. And some of these facilities, like for example, like you got Brian Snow down there. It's got the slot machine place down here. Brian, what's it called? Rockin' Slots, yes, Rockin' Slots. Brian's a good buddy of mine.
Our massive
we like to go to
audience.
drag straight races together, but Brian, he's got down. He just doesn't have the, the outdoor space to have that.
Well, and he can't even use the
I feel
machines.
sorry for them guys.
Right, they can't even use the machines yet because they haven't opened those.
No,
back
the
up.
machines aren't opened up, but it'd still be nice to have some business. You
Right.
You got employees that want to come back to work. You got bartenders and waitresses and whatnot that could come back and make a few bucks, but they're still sitting at home, and I feel bad for them people. But we are inching closer to that, and so hopefully, we'll get there.
We're working our way, and now we know we have heard, and hopefully maybe somebody can chime in and either hit us up, text us, or hit us up in the comments. We know that Iowa is opening up,
Yes.
just flat opening. You can go up there. We saw the Carom Room is going to start playing tournaments and start their leagues. Everything in Iowa, as far as his pool and things like that, it looks like everything up there is a go. So we're probably going to see a lot of things pop off in Iowa. So if you got anything going on in Iowa and want us to talk about it, give us.
Well, the person
chat.
to talk to that we really need to talk to, and I kind of slacked off on it today. I had some other things come up. Well, I wasn't having the best day of staying awake for some reason today. For something that I don't know, I do have some health issues and stuff like that. So sometimes I'm kind of up and down. And today I had my chemo treatments yesterday, so that kind of beats me up a little bit. So today I spent most of the day in bed today, trying to rest up so I could do this. And I wanted to get a hold of Legends over there in Clinton to find out what their schedule is going to be. But the person, if somebody could reach out to Big E, because I'm not sure I have his phone number.
Stuart Key says that they're opening. I'm assuming he's talking about Iowa because he's one of our other across the river guys. He's saying that they're opening at 50%, which I do believe. I think I did hear that because we know they're jumping back into it is going to be rough in general, just because it's been a minute, and a lot of places probably have to catch up stocking and things like that. So yeah, definitely. But hey, 50% is better than no percent.
Right, and I would imagine within a couple of weeks they'll be be up to 100%. And speaking of Stu Key, now,
see what you did, Stuart.
Stu. I love you. I kid Stu a lot. We go back and forth. We like to banter back and forth in between Messenger and stuff like that. Because you know what Stu said to me?
What did Stu say?
Stu said, I can't beat any of his friends in pool.
Oh no.
That's what he said. He said, I cannot beat any of his friends in pool. And that's not true because I beat Jack Dillman. I did beat him once. And then we tied the second time. So I can beat. I mean, not unless Jack's not one of your friends. I mean, I don't know. You guys hang out a lot.
I was going to say that maybe you and Jack need to have a conversation.
Yeah. Well, Jack probably wants. Jack wants revenge on me, anyways. I'm sure. But speaking of Stu, in all seriousness, we need to find that guy a match. We need to get him down here to the coop. Find somebody that wants to play him like a. Boy, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe we could get Ken Harbaugh to come play him. He just played Sam.
I saw that. That was good.
We could get. I think that would be a fairly decent matchup. I don't know. Ken's more of an 8-ball player, and I think Stu likes to play the rotation game. So I don't know. Maybe they can work something out.
Ken's played some rotation. We saw him a bit.
Well, yeah, but I think he prefers. the 8-ball game. I think so.
Alan, I have seen a couple postings for stuff in Beloit. I'm assuming you're talking about the Carom Room. I haven't seen any for sure. Tournament announcements, but I did see something, and I don't quote me on the day because I'm wrong. I might be wrong, and I can look it up to clarify. But they did post something about starting up their league. It was a qualifier league for something for I think one of the Wisconsin tournaments, and they said either way, whether that tournament happened or not, they were still going to run their league. And I believe they said it started on the 11th of June or something like that.
Yeah, I heard something similar to that too.
But as far as tournaments, I haven't personally seen anything. I've been kind of looking, but I haven't seen anything yet. But I know that they had a lot on hold, a couple of them, because I don't think the Carom Room actually. I think they only canceled 1 or 2 of them. Everything else kind of got postponed. So we'll do some
Well,
digging.
I don't think anything was really canceled. I just think everything was
Right.
postponed. But I mean, once everything, of course, we're going to have to see how things work out. You never know. I mean,
Right.
things could,
50% capacity is going to make
things
things
could go
tough.
backwards. Let's hope that that's
Right.
not the case. But hopefully, say 30 days from now, hopefully, I mean, even here in Illinois, we'll be, you know, back up and running. It's hard to say. It'd be nice if that's the case, but you know, but and not to get too far ahead of ourselves, but this goes to show you that people are starving for pool. They want to see pool. They want to play pool because we did a bunch of grudge matches.
We did.
And some of them weren't Class A players. I mean, are, you know, master players, and but yet we still got a lot of views. We had the big matchup, which we'll get into in a little bit, between Will and Anthony.
Yep.
I mean, there was tons of views on that. Probably 9,000, 10,000 people that went in and watched that match, and just our matches that we had right here at the Coop. I mean, we had one of them that had 6,000-7,000 views on it, against 2 just, you know, middle of the road open players,
right?
You know, so I mean,
hey, pool's pool, man.
Just goes to show you that pool is still alive. It's not dead. People want to watch it, and if you provide them a product and provide them something that they, you know, that's worth watching, at least, you know, they'll watch.
Yeah,
you know,
they want to see it.
Sure, absolutely.
And we will definitely cover a bunch of that grudge match stuff when we get over to your segment a little later. So then. Yeah,
we got a lot to talk about.
We got a lot to talk about. So the other thing that I touched on, and like I said, there, as far as, you know, trying to go back and forth on what's working, what's not. Illinois tournaments, leagues not working. Iowa still kind of up there, and as we get more information, we'll share it with you guys. But on the ticker now, you'll see that because now Illinois did go into phase 3, there's a lot of places that are starting to open for outdoor service. You heard Hollywood talk about some of them. I have a list here. I prepared.
Johnny's Bar and Grill over in Sterling's
Yes,
opening
yes,
up,
they
and
did.
I'm telling you, and I don't favor any of these places, because I only talk about the places that, you know, that help us out with the pool. And Johnny's Bar and Grill, you got the Cooler, you got the Whiskey Barrel, you got Froggy's, you got Cardwell's, you got Corner Tap, you got all these places. I mean, some of them aren't doing anything right now, but I'm telling you right now, I mean, if you want good food, I'm going to tell you right now, you want a burger that'll knock your socks off for the money, you go to the Whiskey Barrel. You talk to Rob, you get they'll hook you up. That burger is it's a monster. I mean, it's just
it is.
The fries are really good. The service
yeah.
is great. And I mean, you get to the Cooler, you know, they got stuff over there. Like, I think they did breakfast this morning. I'm not sure, but I know I've seen them talk about breakfast. So you got to.
Well, they open the kitchen at 11. Whiskey Barrel has got the kitchens open every day except for Mondays, 11 to 8.
Right.
And now with the opening stuff that they got going on with their outdoor seating, we'll start with them because they're on my list. They are opening right now their tentative schedule, and he told me that this was going to change. I talked to him this afternoon. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. And tonight and tomorrow night, they're having a DJ.
Ooh.
So you guys can go down there and hang out at Whiskey Barrel for that. I don't think Cardwell's. I couldn't get a hold of anybody over there. The Cooler, Whiskey Barrel, 305 West 2nd, Rock Falls, Illinois, 815-716-8061. The Cooler, 311 West 2nd, 815-632-3010. Tuesday through Friday, 1 p.m. to 1 a.m. Saturday and Sunday, 9 a.m. to 1 a.m. And tonight, he's got more specials, but he told me tonight they are doing $5 rum buckets at the Cooler.
$5 rum buckets
out on the patio. So
what I wouldn't do to have a drink of alcohol. Let's hope someday I can get better so I can have a beer, or I'd even drink a rum bucket. I don't even like them.
Right. Anything that will make me look funny.
But for $5, sounds like
$5,
a great deal to me. And you
Uh,
can't, and I mean, whether you go to the Whiskey Barrel, whether you go to the Cooler, I mean, I know there's people that go back and forth to them both or whatever. Both great places, both great owners, both really, really nice people. I really enjoy. I mean, I've done a lot of work with Renee over there at the Cooler. I've also done work with Raul doing electrical work at his house. So, I mean, great people. They're real nice. Go down and support them. Downtown Rock Falls right here. I mean, you can't ask for anything better. But I was going to talk about, just say for quick mention, you know, you got Johnny's Bar and Grill over there. If you want a pizza, a bar pizza, and I don't know what it is, but I've had Johnny's Bar and Grill down over there in Sterling. That pizza that they have over there, if you ever get a chance, get a pizza from there. I think it's fantastic. You have to just report back to me what you think. But, I mean, there's a lot of good pizza places around here. You got Maria's, you got Angelo's, you got, and so on and so forth, and they're all good. I'm not picking one over the other, but I'm telling you, if you want to go sit down and have a beer and order a pizza, go to Johnny's Bar and Grill and get a pizza from there because it's really good.
So what he's
Really good.
what he's saying is he's not going to turn down food and beer.
No.
John Wilson's telling me that biscuits and gravy 9 a.m. tomorrow at the cooler.
Yeah, I thought I seen an advertisement.
I thought I
so
did
if
too.
you need some biscuits and gravy after you went and you've
Had
like
your
done your
$5
social distancing,
done
but
your
you've kept
$5
apart.
rum buckets.
Yeah, you had your $5 rum buckets, and you can get up in the morning and go to the cooler, and you can have biscuits and gravy. Because I'm sure Kendra's probably making that. Because if Renee's cooking, I don't know, but I'll bet you Kendra does a great job though. She's probably the one making the biscuits and gravy.
So let's see, continue.
And I'm afraid of Kendra, so I'm not saying anything bad about her. I am not afraid of Renee. I'll take him out.
Hollywood. said that.
Kendra, I'm afraid of. So I'm only saying nice things about her.
So sticking in Rock Falls, it's a newer place actually. Route 30 Slots and Cocktails, 2000 East Rock Falls Road, 815-716-8990. Monday through Sunday, 11 a.m. to 1 a.m. They said they got a nice big patio with some shade. They got bags out there to play.
Yeah, I haven't attended this facility yet, but I've heard really, really nice things about it, and I've also heard that they are affiliated with Jedi, and I know that they got Jedi equipment in there,
Mhm.
and I don't know if they have 2 pool tables or 4.
They
I've
have,
heard.
last I heard, they have 2 because they're looking for teams. They've got one
Right.
team for the summer league. They said they're looking for more. They also had a couple teams signed up for the TNT doubles league.
And I know that we did mention last week that the ACS League Summer League is only going with Jedi equipment this year. They're only going to be doing this. So there is another place that you can go look. If you were at the Palms, or if you were at Froggies, or if you were at Corner Tap and you were looking to move your team somewhere, there's your option right there. And I think they might even put in another table or 2. I think there was room. Maybe I was told that they had 2 tables, but they had room for 4. If they had enough teams, they would expand. I'm not sure. Look into it and go from there. But I'm just saying, if you were looking for a place to put your team, there's another option for you.
Yes, Tim, we did hear about that, and we're going to find out some more about that because coming up about 8:15ish or so, we are actually going to give Anthony Garcia a call, and we're going to talk to him about his match last weekend, and definitely share some information with the stream about that. He was having an All Masters 9-ball tournament tomorrow at Danny's, 8-man.
All Masters 8-ball tournament?
9-ball.
9-ball.
And at Danny's house, it says so. And they said they could share their stream if you want. Absolutely, send us information,
definitely,
and we'll share that.
Did they let middle of the road open players in there?
It says all masters.
Yeah, I'm not a master player.
All masters.
I'm lucky to be playing just slightly above a novice. To be honest with you, but I did pull one over on Jim Fridley. So aha.
Yeah. Oh. So let's finish this off real quick. Over in Dixon, Alley Loop, 80 South Hennepin, 815-288-9335. They are doing. They have their curbside sandwich deals. Now, if you haven't had a sandwich from the Alley Loop, you are missing out because that is insane. So they do that. They do the curbside from 11 a.m. to 2 o'clock, and then they are opening for outside service. Hollywood took off on us. They're opening for outside service Wednesday through Saturday from 4 p.m. to 11, and Sunday from 11 to 6. So they're hanging out in the alley there in between the buildings right over by the old, if you're familiar with the kind of around the corner from the Bean Blossom parking lot. And Zero Tap, 81 South Galena, 815-288-0321. Friday and Saturday 4 to 11, and Sunday 11 to 6. It's in the same area. It's kind of out behind Alley Loop if you're not familiar. There was one I forgot. Oh, there it is. Black Rose Saloon. This is an awesome place.
Chris Chorus, great guy.
God,
great
nice
guy.
bar too. He did some amazing work. 802 East Peru Street, Princeton, Illinois, 815-915-8003. Friday through Sunday, 6 p.m. to close, and they're asking you to park and enter from the southeast side of the bar. So, and then of course, all of these hours are subject to change as they kind of get used to this new way. And remember, definitely go and support these guys. Make sure you go out and help them. Make sure you show them the love that they've always shown us as we played in their bars and done all this. Make sure you show. But I want to add to this. Remember, man, they've missed you as much as you've missed them. and this is a whole new thing to them. They have a lot of rules they got to follow, and they might not be they might not be the most logical rules at first. They think it may be hard for you to grasp. There might be some stuff that you go into the bar and you're kind of instinctually wanting to do that you might not be able to do. Things might be a little different. So you know, go in.
Got to be patient.
Go in with the mindset that, hey, I got to go somewhere besides my flipping couch to have a beer, and try to be respectful and enjoy that. Okay. And we did talk about Froggies. Froggies unfortunately cannot open up for outdoor service. They don't have the facilities, but they are still serving food 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. all week long. They have daily specials, and they're offering their full menu, and they're doing delivery, carry out, and curbside service. So make sure you give them a call, 815-625-4783. We have got a ton of stuff to get to tonight. We
do.
We
got lots of stuff to talk.
Lots of stuff. Like I mentioned a couple minutes ago, in about a half an hour or so, unless he gets a hold of us earlier, but in about
he can call us anytime. I mean, if Anthony, if you're out there listening, you can buzz us anytime. We can talk about your match. We can get that. We'll fit that in whatever is most comfortable. I know that he does work third shift, so he was going to call us sometime.
Yeah,
when
we're gonna call him. We don't want to.
We're calling him.
Yeah, so in about a half an hour or so, we're gonna call him. We've got some.
Let's wake him up.
If we do, I'm telling him you did it.
No, he's bigger than I am. I don't want to wake
Hollywood. He did it.
I don't want to wake anybody up. I don't want to wake anybody up.
We may also be talking to. I'm not sure. You can check it out through the TNT Facebook page. We may be talking to Calvin from CJP Billiards. We'll talk about that a little more later. He does some really cool.
He does a lot of streaming down at his place, kind of set up just like here. He's got a nice diamond table though.
No.
I'm thinking of somebody else.
You're thinking of somebody else. Oh. He does. He makes. 3D prints and
okay.
Does the over the ball jump or over the ball bridges and
gotcha.
Lots of really cool pool accessories.
I thought we were going to talk about who am I thinking of down there that does the streams down around Princeton area or
Eric?
Yeah, that's who I'm thinking of. That
maybe Jay's Garage.
We maybe wanted to set up something.
That's Eric Naretto out of Jay's Garage. He just did some really cool stuff. Hey Rick, what's going on? How you doing, buddy?
Oh, Rick Johnson, how you
Matt,
doing, sir?
You have to elaborate on hooves. I'm not sure what you're talking about. Maybe I'm not cool enough to understand that. You'll have to explain that to us.
What's that?
He just said hooves. I don't know what that means. Is it a slang for something weird with horses or?
I don't know.
I don't know. It's strange. Don't forget you can be part of the show. Hit us up in the comments or the chat box on YouTube or on Facebook, depending on wherever you watch. Or you can message the TNT page through the Facebook Messenger. I have my handy dandy phone. Or you can text us at 833-868-7665. You can even call us. I can't guarantee I'm going to answer you right away, but well, actually, no, I will hear because it'll scare the crap out of me. So if you see me do a weird dance, it's because somebody tried to call me.
Well,
Rob Hoover. Okay, it wasn't anything weird.
I did see something in the chat room there where we were talking about Pun. Well, Anthony Garcia, everybody calls him Pun. I know that he's, I think in principle, accepted another challenge match against a gentleman by the name of Danny Roach, I believe. That's
what I saw, and we're definitely asking him about that.
Yeah, we'll ask him about that matchup, and they're talking, maybe the same race, same money.
He said it was, the post said it was all the
same
setup.
venue.
Yeah, same setup.
It'd be nice if we could get a hold of that Bruce.
Yeah.
And maybe we could go down and do the commentating on that match.
Bruce, if you're watching, we have equipment. We will travel. We will help you hook it up. We'll bring.
We'd be happy to come down. I mean, because when you get big. Here and here's the thing, we started kind of came up with this. I mean, everybody's had an idea of having grudge matches for hundreds of years. Since pool started. I mean, there's been grudge matches and stuff like that. So this isn't something that we came up on with our own. But about a year and a half or almost 2 years ago, we started having the Tuesday night fight nights and stuff like that is what we called it. But I mean, you can have a Tuesday night fight night on Saturday night. It doesn't matter.
It's evolved to TNT Fights because it started off Tuesday fight night and it went pretty vulgar.
Yeah, it was not only that. I mean, people started thinking that the only night that they could do a fight night on was Tuesdays, and that's not the case. I mean, you can have a grudge match anytime you want. But anyways, I guess what I was saying is we've evolved to that where we were doing matches, just a couple little local guys just playing one another here and there, just a little bit of money and stuff like that. And it's slowly but surely grown. And we finally got, I'm not saying that we had anything to do with this, but I'm sure it probably helped a little bit because, I try to push people's buttons as much as possible. But, I mean, it finally happened. I mean, we had two guys that barked on the internet over each other, over the Quad City page and other places and pool halls and God knows where else they barked at each other at. But I mean, it finally happened. We finally got Will Thompson and Anthony Garcia to play. Now, I'm not saying that we got him to play, but it finally happened. And look how many people watched that.
Oh, that was...
And look how much interest it drew. And that's what we need in pool. We need people to be playing one another. We get these big matches, get these bigger names to play. Like, for example, I mean, not to change the subject completely, but I mean, I'd like to see, I know Jason Klatt's still around in this area somewhere in Bloomington or wherever. I'd like to see somebody play him. Somebody step up, play that guy. I mean, let's find somebody to play them guys. Let's promote this sport. Let's finally get this. See if we can get it over the hump somewhere where we can, get some big money involved, get some interest. And I mean, I don't care if we're the ones streaming it or not or whatever.
No.
I mean, I'm a fan of pool. I'll watch it. I mean, whether POV Pool does the streaming or Q Sports Live or Q Sports International, I don't care who does it. Or I mean, like for us to do
right.
it, but,
we just want to see it.
Yeah,
it'd be really cool if we were doing it, but in the end, as long as people are putting it out there so people can see it.
Absolutely.
Mr. French, how you doing, buddy?
Kenny French.
Kenny French.
I heard from him a couple weeks ago, and it's always nice to hear from Kenny because he always calls me and gives me encouraging words because with my health issues and stuff like that, he's always been really, really kind to me. So I love it when he calls me because he's always full of inspiration and trying to make sure that I'm okay and I'm healthy and that I'm gonna, be here tomorrow. And I mean, every day's a blessing, So I appreciate all the phone calls, Kenny, and it's nice to hear from you.
I don't care what Buckshot says. Kenny's a nice guy.
Yeah, right.
Now, see, that's a good conversation right there. Let's Matt's bringing up a good point. Let's talk about that because like I said, we've got a lot of cool stuff to talk about grudge match wise, and we're going to get to it. But Matt says race to 50 is too much. Now, this is a topic of conversation when it comes to grudge matches that I think is something that, and it was with the Will and Pun match. It was something that was kind of part of the deal. They kind of went back and forth, not only among the money and some of the rules, but it was a lot of guys are having a problem with the race because the argument seems to be that the race has to be just right to make it fair between people. Because you go too short, somebody can just get lucky. You go too long, you know what I mean? And so that's not a bad conversation.
In my opinion, the race ain't long enough. They should if you want a true winner, you play a race to 100, 125, something of that nature. That's just my opinion. I know people are going to disagree with me, but in order to get a true sense of who the better player is, the longer the race. I mean, you get a race to 100, say 125, or just say 100. Just go with 100. I think that will determine who your better player is. Even in a race to 20, somebody can get hot for 3 or 5 games or whatever, and build a lead on somebody and hold on to it and win 2019.
Right. And then there a lot goes into that too. Like your break situation, winter break or alternate break, that's going to play into a little bit. And
Sure.
Think about all these, and you bring up that the race to 100 and things like that. Let's think. There's been some pretty big name races that have played that. Shane and his past couple big matches he's played have been races to 100.
Oh, anytime you see any of them guys that are going to put a race together, they're going to play big numbers. Shane Van Boning's not going to race somebody to 25 for $5,000 or $10,000 or whatever they're playing for, but they're going to make a big race. I know that they're trying to set up a mega match between Joshua Filler and Shane Van Boning. And I'll guarantee you, if that match ever happens, which I hope it does, I think that race will be 100 to 125. It'll be somewhere in that ballpark, and that's and to me, that's don't get me wrong, these guys are professionals. This is what they do, so they probably should be racing to 100, 125 to determine who the better player is. I mean, Shane Van Boning, as we've seen, I mean, especially with his break, he's probably got if he doesn't have the best break in the world, I don't know who's got a better one.
Right.
But you watch him break 10 ball, he just does something that nobody else does. And he puts racks together on you, and it's just I don't know how you beat the guy, but if anybody can beat him, that Joshua Filler probably can. But it's just now like people on say Will Thompson's and Anthony Garcia's level. I mean, they're not professional players. They're close. I mean, they play really good.
Yeah.
I mean, you're not going to find too many people walking around that are just going to come up and beat either one of them guys. So, but I mean, a race to 50 between them, 8-ball, that's a long match. It took
Right.
them
It was
around 10 hours or
about
so,
10
or
hours
whatever
or
it
so,
was
yeah.
to get it done. 10, 11, 12, between 8 and 12. It was
It
somewhere in
was-
that ballpark. I know it was a while. I mean, I went back and watched the whole match, and it was all day. And I'm sure that was, them guys probably aren't used to play. Well, Anthony might be, I don't know about Will so much is I know that in past, I'm sure them guys have played in pool halls when it opened up at noon and they were there till 2 o'clock in the morning still playing, because I know I've done it. I used to do it all the time.
Well, I mean, how many? Honestly, if some of us could and had the time, I think some of us could probably play all day. Whether it's just playing or playing a match of that magnitude all day, I'm sure that's two totally different things.
And but another thing you got to take into consideration when you got it was $5,000 a guy. It was $10,000 in the center, and when you got that kind of money going on, you don't want to do a short race. You don't want to do a race to 20.
No,
You don't want to do a race to 10. That just you have to. The race has to be a longer race in order to justify the money. So some people might say, "Well, that's too long. It's too long." Well, you might think that it's too long, but when you put your $5,000 up, you don't want to. Trust me, you ain't going to run a
Right.
race to 15 for it,
right. You don't want somebody just to, like you said, put together a couple good racks and run off with
and
it.
then you can't catch them.
So Kenny says, and I can't wait to tell him this because it's probably going to start a whole other conversation. Kenny says Filler's got a better break. He beats the Ghost in every game, and that's tough to do.
Well, I mean, and that's the argument. A lot of people are saying that Joshua Filler would beat Shane Van Bonen because he would outbreak him. I don't see it until somebody does it. I'm not going to believe it. But I mean, I've seen Joshua Filler play. They call him the Killer Filler. I mean, and there's a reason why. I mean, he if anybody's going to knock Shane Van Bonen off the mountain, it's going to be that kid.
I hope they get that because that would be a great match to watch. It really would.
Well, I know that they're trying. And once again, this is the tough thing about pool players. It's hard to get two pool players to agree on one game, what equipment they're going to play on, what balls they're going to use, what the rules are going to be, is it going to be alternated break, winter break. Now imagine these two, if Joshua and Shane get together, that's going to be a winter break game. I don't think there's no way that they play alternate break. So you're going to see a winter break, and you're probably going to see it in 10-ball. I think that will be the game that they'll play.
I think a lot of that back and forth negotiating about the equipment and things like that. I think that's obviously got to be a big mental part of it where they, you know what I mean.
The problem is you got like, for example, I don't know what Joshua's used to playing with. Like, for example, he's from Germany. What do they use for cue balls over there and balls? What kind of equipment, what kind of felt are they using? I mean, he's used to something probably different than what Shane's used to.
True,
Now,
yeah.
they do play on a professional level, so I'm sure they all play on Simone's cloth, and they're probably playing on diamond tables.
Well, they've crossed paths in similar situations.
Sure,
so.
But that's the problem but that's what I think the biggest problem with pool is there's too much change from one venue to the next, and what rules and what you're doing and what you're not doing. It would be nice to get a central set of rules together so that everybody has to abide by. So when you do have a grudge match or whatever, these are the rules that you're playing by.
Right, you take part of that out of there.
Yeah, there's no negotiating, none of that stuff. It's winter break. It's you're playing on this type of a table, and this is what you're going to play on. That's why you need big sponsorship money to come in and take over pool and have somebody just have one set of rules that you play by. And even though if you were gambling, I mean that will vary a little bit because some guys will want to, some guys might want a spot or this, that, whatever. But I'm just saying, for the most part, you could get rid of a lot of that if there was a central set of rules. But there's just not. I mean, you can go to a pool tournament in Illinois and go 30 miles that way, and the rules will be completely different.
Oh, absolutely.
And the tables that you're playing are different.
You could go from one bar to the next sometimes and be like that. Okay, I have to ask this. Willie Tax says something. What do you think the score will be? And I'm not sure what you're asking. You have to clarify what we think the score will be on what, and then we'll answer you on that one. Matt Snyder, you'll never have that because too many babies want the advantage, the races. Now, just to kind of switch gears for a second, John Wilson proposed a fight night with Eric Marsh, raced to 10, and they both do a shot of whiskey after every game.
Well, and I like Eric Marsh in that game. I mean, now both of them can handle their whiskey. Both of them can handle their whiskey because they come over here and I watched them drink whatever the hell that is up there. And they went through a bottle of that, and they both comfortably made it. And yeah, I think that would be a good matchup, and I mean, I would put that on the Pigeon Coop page. I don't know that we would promote it on the TNT page and make a huge deal of it.
It would be fun,
but we could definitely. I'd commentate it right here from the Pigeon Coop.
It'd be good. Eric Marsh still to this day has one of the best TNT Fight Night flyers ever. Everybody else has a cool picture of themselves playing pool. Eric Marsh sitting in a bar stool with a giant mug of beer.
Well, I don't know. I think we got a new rival.
Okay,
for that.
really, I got you.
Ryan Wade's got. His. I wear sunglasses at night. Look on his TNT Fight Night page. We'll talk about here in just a little bit.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll catch up with this. So, Matt, I do agree. I mean, I think Matt is a firm believer in just playing heads up and things like that. He's just play out. You know, he says people don't have, to quote, not enough balls to just play win or lose.
Right, and I agree. Well, I agree to a certain extent. I mean, because you do have different levels of pool players out there. But I mean,
right.
For example, I mean, there has been some fuss on my page. Even there's some guys that disagree with me about trying to set up certain matches. I'm like, we had the little episode about Don Koldoff, and I love Don to death, and it's not a knock against his game or anything like that because I'm in the same category. I'm an open player. Now, at times, do I play very well? Sure, absolutely. Could I play an advanced player or a lower end advanced player and play him heads up? Sure. What we try to do is, if you're an open player, play another open player heads up. No BS, just play. And then we had Don. He played a couple of guys that were an advanced master player. He got a little out of his league. He kind of wanted to see where he was. Right. And there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong with
Every once in a while, you want to.
You have to play people better than you sometimes.
Yeah, you want to step up to the plate. And you want to play him, and then. I had some people messaging me. Well, I want to play that Don guy, or this. And they're trying to pick on Don, and I'm just trying to tell them that Don's not an advanced player. I don't know where Big E has him over in Iowa, but if he has him as an advanced player, he needs to move him back down.
Right.
Doesn't belong there, and it's not a knock on his name because Don plays good pool. I mean, he does play decent, but he's not that level.
And that's the thing. We're not trying to set up highway robbery with people like that.
No.
And when it comes down to it, as far as like when you go to stream a match, nobody wants to see a freaking blowout. Nobody wants to see one guy, get up one time to the table and be like, okay, this is the table, and then sit in his chair for 25 games.
Well, but the thing about it is sometimes it'll happen. I mean, I've had it happen to me. I had that Kurt Colum come over, and he's an open player, and he just flat out played me the night he come over and played me. He left me sitting in a chair, turned me into a popsicle, and it happens.
Right, like you said, it is going to happen because some people get on, and like you said, they can put together racks and they go, and it's going to happen.
Sure.
Okay, so not to leave
and I
Willie,
hate you, Kurt.
Not to leave Willie out because Willie clarified for us. So we were talking about that possible filler in Shane match, and he wants to know what you think the score of them playing 10 ball in a race to, I'm assuming, the 100 that we talked about.
Well, I think they would race to 125 because that seems to be the normal, what they've been doing when Shane plays somebody. It seems to be the number for whatever reason. But let's just say it's 125. If Joshua Filler and Shane Van Boning play a race to 125, 10 ball, winner break, I still, until somebody beats Shane, I don't think that Filler wins. I think it's close. But I still think Shane wins 125, 110. I think he beats him by 15 games.
There you go. Hollywood's calling it. So John just made a
now.
Point.
Kenny French is going to disagree.
Kenny French is going to have something to
and
say.
And then he's going to be calling me. You want to bet on that if that ever happens?
I was going to say.
Come on, let's get a bet going. Come on.
I can already hear. I can already hear the books going. Yeah, the odds getting. So John Wilson brought up something. We're kind of bouncing back and forth between subjects. John said he'd been to some bars in Iowa and he's seen that the bars are opening but not having the pool tables available because they don't want multiple people touching the equipment. Now, my question would be on this: was this before or after? Because they wasn't just today Iowa said everything in the open.
Right.
I think, or June or whatever. I'm not sure when he went, so that's something I kind of want to know.
Well, I'm sure there's going to be.
There's going to be stuff where there, because I've heard a lot of different people are saying, that they're closing off like every other table to keep people a distance.
And they very well could be. And I don't claim to know what they're going to be doing, but I'm sure what's going to be happening is every time let's just say you and I go over to Legends, which is a great place, by the way, and another good place for food. Oh, the food!
I remember you talking about that the last time you went there.
The food at Legends.
I remember calling you and asking you how you were doing in the tournament you're playing. Said, man, I don't know, but the food's good.
Yeah, it was outstanding, and the service is always great. The girls over there are always, prompt. They come out to the pool hall. They wait on you hand and foot. They take good care of you over there. But anyways, my point that I'm trying to get at is that you got me distracted. I'm thinking of like another burger.
Somebody send us a pizza.
Yeah. Somebody calls Johnny's Bar and Grill. Get us a pizza. Do they deliver?
Johnny's, are you watching? We want a pizza.
Yeah. So, but anyways, I guess what's probably going to happen, I'm going to assume, I don't know because I don't know, but I'm going to assume, let's say you and I go over and run a table and we play. I'm assuming when it gets done, they're going to come over, they're going to wipe the table down.
Right,
they're going to wipe the balls down, they're going to disinfect everything, and then when the next set of people come out and play on it, they're going to put it out there, and there you go. I'm assuming that's how it'll work. I don't know that that's how it's going to work. I don't claim to know that's how it's going to work, but I would imagine probably for a short while that's how things will go anyways.
Right. So John says he was over there last week, and I think, like I said, I might be wrong, and I would love if anybody is watching that knows a venue owner, is a venue owner somewhere in Iowa, or knows somebody, that can tell them to get a hold of us so we can find out right straight from the source or something. That'd be interesting to know. Willie says he agrees with you. Shane's going to win, but he says it's going to be by 35. He says 90 to 125, Shane. So,
well, I truly think that Shane wins. I mean, I know, like I said, there's going to be people out there that's going to disagree with me, and I just, until somebody steps up to the plate in 10 ball and beats Shane Van Boening, I don't think there's anybody to beat the guy. I just don't. I think his break's too tough. I think he's just too mentally tough. I think the Joshua Filler shoots just as good as Shane Van Boening does. There's a lot of guys that are great shot makers, but the problem is when Shane steps up to the table, it kind of makes you shake in your boots a little bit.
Right? Yeah. Yeah.
I've had this argument too much. I don't even want to talk about it anymore.
I just thought you'd find that interesting. Don't forget, you can be part of the show. Give us a call, 833-868-7665.
Yeah, call in. We can talk to you.
Yep. Or you can text that number. You can message us on Facebook. You can comment on either the YouTube page or the Facebook page, wherever you're watching. Kenny says he's taking all bets on Filler to beat Shane right now. Book's already open. Kenny French.
Well, first and foremost, the thing that has to happen, Kenny, and as you well know, you have to get two pool players together to agree on rules and all the BS that goes along trying to get one match set up. I mean, look at
Kenny is a
all we got to do is look at Will and Anthony. Look how long it took them two to get together to play one race to 50. It took 5 years to get that to happen. So, I don't know how long it would take to get Filler and Shane in the box to play one another. It should happen. It should happen. It should happen. It should happen.
Absolutely.
But whether it will happen or not, I don't know.
Now, we've online they've been replaying a lot of matches between some of the bigger players. Have there been? And I unless I'm completely missing it, there's been a few here and there. More recent live matches between some of the bigger professional players, but it seems like a lot of them are kind of
they're hanging low
and not doing much right now.
Which helps us out because we've been running our grudge matches and people are coming over to watch our stuff because there's just nothing out there to watch. There's no new content coming out right now. Yeah. And well, you gotta remember a lot of these pool players are from different parts of the world.
Right, travel problems.
You got travel issues. You got people. A lot of the good players, big players come. Some of them Canada, some of them in the Philippines. Joshua Filler, Germany or wherever he's living now. I mean, you got people all over the planet, so it's hard to get these guys together. I mean, I'm sure there's probably some people out in the Vegas area. Well, Kenny probably can attest to this. That there's probably some big matches going on. They're just not getting streamed or anything.
Right, exactly. Because there's some places that's something just kind of touching on. That's something I noticed a lot of places. There was a lot of some of the bigger pool sites on Facebook were telling people that they weren't even they wouldn't even share large matches that were getting streamed because they were violating certain.
Sure, yeah,
and
people don't want to get in trouble.
and that's understandable. You know what I mean? When we do ours, we make sure we've wrapped everybody in Saran wrap when they come over, and we're doing all the business.
Not to mention this is not a place of business. I mean, I do get, and I could just clarify this now.
Yes.
Let's just clarify this now. The Pigeon Coop is not really a pool hall. It's not a pigeon coop either.
And it is the pigeon coop.
It's the pigeon coop,
not the chicken coop.
That's the chicken coop. It's not the chicken coop. It's not the worm coop. It's not whatever coop, whatever I've heard of. It's the pigeon coop. And and some people say, well, how did that name come about? Well, what it was is actually years ago when I first started playing pool. When I moved back to the Rockfall Sterling area, my uncle Jim Lefevre, he had the leisure time down there, and he always called the pool players that were easy money, so to speak, that always would come and play and lose, and he called them pigeons. He said, "Stay off my pigeon," because that's my pigeon. He always flies back, so you just leave my pigeon alone. So that's kind of where that all come from. and then one night we were in here, and me and Rippy and Jeremiah Easley and the boys were talking, because we used to call it Hollywood's Pub and Pool Hall, which I really like that too, but that seemed a little selfish for me.
Right.
So we started talking about how we were a bunch of pigeons because we always lost to everybody. So then that's kind of how the pigeon coop came about. But it's my garage. It's not a real place of business. My plans this summer were to build on and add another table or two, because I wanted to put a 9-footer on the other side. But with everything that I've got going on in my life right now, probably not going to be feasible this summer. But let's just hope maybe by next year we can build on, put a 9-footer in here, have some one pocket games, because I really want to learn I love to sit and watch one pocket. People are always giving me crap about that too. They're like, "Oh, it's such a boring game to watch," and blah 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 blah. I'm like, "You like to watch golf?" "Oh yeah, I like to watch golf." Well,
guess what?
There you go. I mean, I like to watch golf too, but I'm just saying, But or you sit in front of your television and watch, 6 hours of soccer, and and the score ends up 1-0 or 0-0. If I want to watch, people have a hard time scoring, I'll just take our friends to the bar for a half an hour and watch them try to score and get nothing. 0. Big goose eggs. So, I mean, it's just what we do here at the Pigeon Coop. We have a good time, and it's not a real place of business, but I do try to keep things cleaned up when people come over. I try to keep balls cleaned up because I like clean balls. And I
was leaving it alone. I was gonna let it. You've got our amazing audience going crazy.
We are in front of a live studio audience tonight, and I'm just letting them know I like clean balls. I like my balls to be clean.
Absolutely.
There's nothing wrong with clean balls.
I did see that ad in the paper. You are looking for a ball polisher.
I do. I need somebody should donate me. Oh, and speaking of donations, I got to give a big shout out while I'm thinking about it to Jason Welker. He donated the TV balls, and it was really, really nice of you to do that. And I really, really appreciate it. And we also had Jim Fridley. He donated some chalk to the place. And well, I mean, we got a lot of play over here. Like I said, we just recovered this table probably 3 weeks ago, and I guarantee you it's got 1,500 games on it already.
Oh, yeah. You played the hell out of this.
Yeah. Well, there's been a lot of grudge matches, which we're going to start talking about here anytime soon.
We are actually going to.
We got a phone caller?
We're going to call. Mr. Garcia just told me he is ready to go.
So he is ready to roll, ladies and gentlemen. Pun will be on the line here in just a second.
If you've been waiting for it, here it comes right now. We're going to give Anthony Garcia a call. Fingers crossed that I got all the buttons pushed the correct way. I believe that I do. Hit that button real quick. There you go. Is it ringing? Do you guys hear that? Or hold on. Yep, it's going. There it goes. We're calling you right now, Anthony. That 833 number. That's us. Anthony.
Hello.
Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Not too bad. How are you?
Good, good. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. I'm Bud. I don't know if we've met, and I'm not sure.
I've met Anthony several times. Yeah, it's been a few years. He probably doesn't remember me, but it's been a long time. But yes, I know who Pun is. Everybody knows who Pun is. He's a great pool player.
So we got you on the line today because last week we talked to Will just before a big match that you and him played, and congratulations, by the way.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
So I know Hollywood's got a ton of questions. I can actually I don't know if you can see him, but he's actually kind of lit up. I know he had some stuff going on there. And before we get too much further, I just got to you played me well this weekend, dude. You got me good. I gotta give it to you there. You had me. I was so into that text message. Oh man, and this guy's got good questions and blah blah blah. You talked me right into it. Didn't even realize it. Good job. I'm proud of you.
I was completely, and I was completely out of the loop on that because here, for those of you who don't, he's not explaining to you what happened. Apparently, when we were talking about this big matchup coming up,
Well, no, it was after.
Oh, it was after?
He messaged the TNT number after the fact and asked who'd won, and I didn't know what I didn't, it doesn't tell me who it is, it's just a number, and I got a text message that asked, hey, who won the match Saturday? And I said, well, there was a lot of matches Saturday, and so I told him Don won and Rick won and this, and he goes, oh no, how about that one with Will and Pun? And I said, oh, Pun won. He goes, oh cool. Well, I seen you talk to Will. You should talk to Pun. And I said, well, yeah, I'd really like to. And he goes, oh, okay.
and the thing about it was Pun that was texting us the whole time. We didn't know. Well, he didn't know because he wasn't texting me. He was texting him. But yeah, it was a great matchup. I even said this on my page and stuff like that. I believe that you won the match. It was 50-47, and it was close. And people were getting back, talking to me back and forth about the match, and I had watched the whole match over, and I've seen both you and Will play, and I think both of you would probably agree to this at least. I've seen you both play better. I don't know what was going on with the table, but it just seemed like neither one of you could get the break going, and it just seemed like that was like the sticking point, trying to get who was going to break the best. And it turns out that you did a little more breaking and running out than he did, which led to a win.
The table definitely broke. Weird. I'll just say that it was tough. I don't know how. I tried moving around, but it was definitely tough breaking on that table.
Yeah, it looked like usually on a diamond table, I find it anyways to find it easier to break on a diamond table to make balls and whatnot, but it just didn't seem like either one of you just could get that going all that great. But in the end, you both have to play on the same equipment, playing using the same balls, et cetera, et cetera. So you still pulled out the W, and that was that was the key. You won, right?
Yeah, I won. It was closer than I expected.
And you did build a lead somewhere along right in the 30s somewhere. You kind of put a stretch on him about 8-9 racks somewhere in that ballpark, and I thought, well, Pun's going to close this one out. He's going to blow him out by 10-12 games, and then Will clawed back, made it a game, and you still won in the end. And at any time were you nervous that you were gonna lose that match when he started to claw his way back in, when he started to make that comeback towards when it was like 30? I want to say it was like there was like a 10-game gap there towards the end.
It was in the 30s.
It was in the 30s. It was somewhere.
Yeah.
And he started to claw his way back in. I just wondered if that made you a little nervous at that point.
Well, I can't say it made me nervous. No, I wasn't nervous. I had a 10-game lead.
Mm-hmm.
I was up 45-35.
That's what it was, yeah.
How am I supposed to be nervous?
Well, I'm just checking. I just wanted to make sure that you were, because it just seemed like you might have tightened up a little bit. But but when you're playing, people with skills that can run out, if you miss, you make any mistake at all, the other guy gets out on you, and that's just kind of how it goes when you get to your guys' level. But you definitely played well, and I see now that you have another matchup in the works, and I don't know if it's 100% in concrete. Same place, same time, same money, with a gentleman by the name of Danny Roach. Am I correct?
Yes, that's 100% set in stone.
Oh, that's 100% set in stone. That is great to hear.
What was it? It was in July, right?
No.
Oh no, that's
June
the other
13th.
one. June 13th.
2 weeks from today.
Well, before we forget, you make sure you tell Bruce we'd be more than happy to come out and help him with the stream for that one, because he did.
I don't know if I want to listen to you guys when I'm playing.
We'll hide in the corner.
You won't be able to hear us.
We'll hide in the corner.
I don't know, but I don't know.
Well, that's completely up to you. But it would be. We'd like to at least come out and watch it, or at least if you guys do get a stream going, certainly let us know so we can share it, because I know that a lot of people were really interested in the match. You guys barked back and forth at each other, like I've said many times, probably for the better part of 5 years on Facebook and pool halls and whatnot. the match finally happened, and I mean, you had a lot of viewers that watched that, and then people were happy to see that match.
There's a lot of money on that match. It was
$5,000 a
it
guy.
was due. It was due.
It was due.
That match was due. That match was due to go.
Oh yeah, and I know we know how a ton of people were talking about that, and me and you and I did talk a little bit, and I got people messaging like I got some people messaging about some stuff. We talked about this, and I was kind of curious. You said you heard us talk to Will and stuff like that. So going into the match, we heard what he said about what he thought his chances were and what he thought it was going to happen. Going in, how did you feel about it? How did you think things were going to play out?
Well, to say that he was a 70-30 favorite sounds like you're almost stealing. I mean, there was no, it's going to be a close match. It's going to be, it's a toss-up. It's 50-50. No, he said straight 70-30.
Well, yeah, he did sound pretty confident, and I was a little.
I understand the confidence.
Oh, absolutely, right.
But damn, I mean, can I get some kind of credit? I mean, I know I quit for a couple of years, but
You hear that little beep in the background. Somebody's trying to call us, so we're going to get to. If you're trying to call a TNT, hang tight. Send us a text message, and we'll call you back in just a minute when we're done talking with Anthony.
It's probably Will trying to call.
Oh, I don't think so. Actually, there's a gentleman in our comments right now, George Walters, who has. I'm trying to think of the nice word for it. He has an extreme desire to play you.
I understand. He's the guy that wants to woof at somebody after they leave their own hometown.
No.
So here's my biggest question for Pun. Now, after the match was all over, there was still a lot of talk about the match. It was great that it went off, and so on and so forth. And I had gotten probably, I'm going to guess, somewhere in the neighborhood of 30 or 40 people that had messaged me personally, because a lot of people thought we were putting on the match, which we were not doing. And that was done by Bruce and them guys up there that would put the stream on and so on and so forth. And they said, well, the match was 50 to 47. These guys barked at each other for so many years. Is Pun going to give Will a rematch for the same money in the same race? And I guess the question is to you, would you offer Will a rematch anytime soon?
I'm never going to deny a rematch. I mean, that's not even in my nature.
Well, that's good to hear, because I mean, I know that people would love to see round 2 of that matchup. And, being that it was 50-47 and there was a lot of barking going on and so on and so forth, I think now I know you got this match with Danny Roach coming up first, and I completely understand that's going to happen.
First, it's actually second. I mean, I'm actually supposed to play Matt Van Campen next weekend in Clinton.
I saw that. I didn't know if that actually went off. I saw you guys talking about that.
And I was going to ask you about that also, because I know that they had talked about even coming here to the Coop and playing, and I said, I think Will would play him in Clinton at Legends,
well, Matt needs to be next to the bar, he says. He needs to be drinking.
That does sound about right.
I've been around Matt enough to know that he definitely likes to drink his booze and stuff like that.
I ain't making nothing up.
No, you're not. That's no joke. And
straight out of his mouth.
You got to be careful with Matt, because when he starts to get a few beers in him, he gets just that right lubrication. He plays pretty well, so you're gonna have to be careful with him. And I don't know what you guys are doing for race. Are you doing the same race, same money then?
Same thing. We're doing the same thing. If that guy can drink for 9 or 10 hours and stand up and beat me, boy, hats off to him.
Well, I would have to agree with you. That might be a little tough for him, but yeah, I tell you what, I've seen him drink 9-10 hours and still play pretty decent. Right. But I mean, I have no idea. I definitely think that you're definitely the favorite in that match. But I haven't seen enough of Matt's. I've heard about Matt's 8-ball game. I've heard about his play. I've watched him play, and he plays decent. I haven't seen enough of him to know where I think to give any type of prediction or anything like that. I know he plays at a master level. So, I wish you both luck, and I'll probably come out and watch that personally. I don't know if you guys are going to have a stream on that one or not.
That would be
well,
nice.
As far as I know, as far as I know, I guess we're waiting on if Legends doesn't have a tournament Saturday, we're going to play Saturday. But if they have a tournament, we're playing Sunday.
Okay. Well, I might have plans for Saturday.
There you go. So kind of back to the Will match with you, and because we were talking about your beforehand thoughts, did you expect it to end up that close, or did you think that maybe? I mean, obviously both of you guys, and the sane guy's going to say, well, yeah, I'm going to win. But did you think it would be that close, or did you think there was going to be a bigger gap?
Well, I mean, from what the score was from where it was at, obviously I thought it was definitely not going to be nowhere near that close. I mean, from the very beginning, I would have guessed 50-45. That's what I would have guessed.
Well,
I missed a straight in 3-ball to go up 49-39, and then could not recover for 7 games.
Oof.
Yeah, and that gets. I mean, that is rough. I mean, but that's pool. That's why you play the game. I mean,
I mean, it's not like he broke around all in racks. I think I shot every game.
Well, I did. I
up.
actually did. Like I said, I went through that and I watched you guys break. And I'm not gonna. I mean, I'm not. It's probably not an unfair estimate to say that there was probably 30 dry breaks between the two of you.
There was, there was a lot where I was actually kind of surprised. I mean, you could see that it
Will
wasn't.
Scratched a lot.
Yes,
Will
yeah,
scratched on the
yeah,
break
he
a lot.
did.
Yeah.
I mean, you can't expect to win scratching on the break.
No, and that's the biggest part of the game is, and whether you're playing 9-ball, 10-ball, 8-ball, whatever you're doing, it's all about the break and controlling your break and you're making a ball on a break, and you're going to win a lot more games. That's for sure.
So you think this match with Will, obviously it has. I mean, since you've been lining up so many more, you think it's really going to, you think it's going to start bringing out a lot more people to want to play you for the same stuff? With that being said, is that something that you're going to do? Is that something you're going to kind of stick with and play more people at that same kind of race?
Well, from what I understand, I'm pulling all the 8-ball players out of the woodwork.
It looks like it. I mean, so I got to ask, because he's still going on in the comments. Is there something he's saying that this George Walters guy is saying that you guys will he says you guys will never play. He says he's just bullying you like he did, or like you did to him when he moved to CR and was an open player or something like that. So
he's bullying me? Oh man, I don't get bullied, bud.
Well, I think you definitely showed that you got game and you got moxie, that you're not afraid of anybody. Because I mean, so it's. I personally don't know who George Walters is. I've never seen him play. I'm sure
George Walters, he plays good.
I'm sure if he's calling you out, if he wants to play, I'm sure he plays decent. So I don't have any issues with that. It's just that Pun can only play one person at a time, though. I mean, he's got Matt. He's going to have a rematch with Will. He says he's got this match coming up with Randy or Danny Roach. So I mean, his plate's pretty full right now. So, I mean, I think George is going to have to get in line. George is going to have to get in line, and I'm sure Pun will accommodate you because, heck, at this rate, you could make a living at this.
I mean, I do work 6 days a week.
You do work 6 days.
I understand. You got a job, and I know that you said something about you. I think you had told Greg here that you work third shift, so, that,
right.
Most of your games probably have to be at night. That's when you're awake.
I mean, I practiced, probably a couple of weeks before me and Will before he even woofed at me. But, that week, I think I had pool balls on Tuesday because I was so busy.
Well, I was going to say that was another question I did have with you working third shift. It's got to be hard to kind of stay in stroke. Where do you have your own table, or?
I got a little setup here in the garage.
Nice.
Kind of like mine.
Kind of like
I probably it might be like yours. I don't know. It's not the pigeon coop. Did I say that right?
Yeah, you got it right. You didn't call it the chicken coop, so you're ahead of the game.
Right. Everybody wants to call it the chicken coop. They called it all sorts of coops.
So we're getting.
I didn't want to be that one.
Right.
You're fine.
So besides George, we are getting some people in the comments asking questions. Daryl Martin asks what the high run in that set was, and I'm not sure if Allen was on because I know there was more than just one.
I think the high run in the game was 7 games. I think, if I'm not mistaken.
No, he's talking like break and run outs. It
Yeah.
might have been 3 or 4.
Oh well, yeah,
He's
yeah,
being
right,
a
right.
smart ass. He's being a smart ass right now.
Daryl-
That's what he's doing.
Hey, you know, when people do that stuff, all I just tell them, hey, you weren't there, you weren't playing. The table was breaking
That's
this
the
way or
funny
breaking.
part.
Right.
The cocksucker was there. That's the funny
Oh,
part.
was he?
Cocksucker was there.
So, and then let's see, Timothy Craig is on here. He's asking what the odds with Pun and Danny are. I don't know
What
if
do you
he's
mean?
asking
What are the odds?
what he's asking, and he thinks I don't know if he's asking us what we think the odds are.
Yeah, because we don't know the
I
odds.
don't-
I've never seen Danny Rhodes
I don't.
play.
Yeah, I don't know Danny.
So
Well, I'll just tell you what. Danny Roach has a diamond pool table in his house.
Oh,
So you just tell me who's got a better advantage.
well, yeah, I would assume that he does. But like I said, I've never seen Danny play, so I have no clue. But I like anybody that's calling out somebody of your caliber has to be a good player. That's all I can tell you.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine you're going to go and call somebody like Anthony out if you're,
A middle of the road open
right.
player.
Oh, hey,
Danny
I feel like
plays
losing
good.
$5
Danny
grand.
plays good.
Does he?
Danny plays good. He's got a couple state titles. I mean, he's got some titles. He plays real good 8-ball. It's his best game.
Yeah, I have to look. I'll have to look him up on YouTube to see if there's any videos of him playing.
Have you
I
played
haven't-
him before?
I mean, in tournaments, yes. Gambling wise, no.
Okay.
Well, you'll have to get that set up, and if that match goes off, I'm always monitoring the Quad City page, and now that I mean, we did add you to the Pigeon Coop page today, so if you ever have any big matches coming up or something like that, you can always post it up, and we'll keep people informed of anything that you got going on. But I think we're going to move on. I think you got plenty of action now lined up now that you've played Will, and you got the match with Danny Roach. Matt Van Kampen's going to play, and another rematch with Will coming up hopefully pretty soon. We'd like to see that.
You'll definitely have to let us know, especially if that one with Matt doesn't get streamed. You'll definitely have to post some updates here and there for us so we can keep up on that, because that'd be interesting and to share with some people.
Well, I mean, I'm not the only one that gambles. I mean, there should be. The pool halls are opening up. Maybe we should see someone else. I mean, everyone's going to try to come get me, obviously.
Right. Well,
I got all the gamble.
There you right, absolutely. But and you got other players that I know you run around with, and stuff like that. So, here's a great opportunity for all of us to get more matches going. Get some of your friends involved. Let's stop the Wolf Fest and let's start playing.
Right. Let's stop barking about games and let's start playing them.
Side bets in.
Yep,
Get
there
your
you go.
side bets in, 'cause it's going to get exciting.
Yes,
It's
absolutely.
going to be an exciting summer. I'm just going to tell you that.
Yeah.
So so with that being said, you're obviously planning on playing quite a bit this summer when we get back to it and making some time.
Well, yeah. I mean, these next 2 weeks, and then I'm going to take the rest of the month off, and then maybe somewhere in the middle of July, there'll be somewhere else. All the pool halls should be open. We should be able to play anywhere neutral. I'm in Peoria. That's where I try to drive somewhere halfway, but usually, I have to go a little further.
Do you play down there at Racks on the Rocks a lot then?
No, not really. 'Cause I
Okay.
work 6 days a week, and they've been closed, but I
Right.
try to make it out sometimes. But
I just hadn't
drove
been
2
down
hours.
there yet. I just wondered what it was like. I hadn't been in there yet.
yeah, that day was a long day.
I'll bet so. I see the picture afterwards when you guys were getting ready to head home. It looked like he was a little tired.
Look, I drove there myself and drove all the way home. I didn't have somebody like Will to drive me from the Quad City.
Do you remember the whole drive home, or some of it kind of
A little fuzzy?
iffy? Like
Well, his truck
I
his truck was leaning over with all that cash in
Right.
it, trying to carry it home.
I put it in the back.
Well, hey, Anthony,
we can find
we appreciate you calling in, buddy, and we hope to see your future matches with Danny Roach and Matt Van Kampen and the rematch with Will Thompson.
and Jesus Christ, we play George, so he'll calm down.
And you can work out something with George Walters,
I
and
don't-
we'll get that
George,
figured out too.
like I said, George is he will. Yeah, we're just gonna end it on that.
Okay,
You guys
we'll
have
do
a
that.
Wonderful night.
Anthony, thank you very much for taking the time. You have a great one. We'll talk to you again. Good luck, buddy.
Thank you for calling.
Yep, have a great night.
You
Oh, that was as interesting as I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, it was a great interview. I mean, but the good thing that we did get out of it, I mean, it sounds like the match with Matt Van Kampen's going to happen. It sounds like he has agreed to give Will Thompson a rematch, which I think he very well should. I mean, that match was close. It created a lot of interest, and that'd be a good one. And then he's got this Danny Roach that he's going to play. Now, like I said, I haven't seen Danny Roach play, but apparently, if he's calling out Will Thompson or if he's calling out Pun, I mean, he's got to have some game. So there's going to be some interesting matches there. And don't forget, boys and girls, you too can get involved in these grudge matches. I mean, like we as you can see, we have cameras, we have lights, camera action.
Yeah,
We'll come stream your match, put on a big match. If you got somebody that you got two good players or want to play somewhere, don't get me wrong. I mean, if we're traveling, if we got to travel 100 miles to do it, they have to take care of some of our gas money.
Get us a pizza.
Get us a pizza from maybe Johnny's Bar and Grill over there, and hey, we'll come do this. We're not looking to make $1 million doing this by any stretch of the imagination, but we do have expenses and stuff like that. So if we do have to travel somewhere, I mean, we always say we do this for free, and we do. I mean, when it comes down to it, we do.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, if we are going to be traveling somewhere, I mean, you can accommodate us a little bit. We do have gas money and some food and a couple of drinks or something like that. Get us by, and we're here we're here to promote the sport. So the
first and foremost, that's what it comes down.
That's what it comes down to, because I would like to see this before my lifetime is over. I'd like to see the sport finally get over the hump, get back into a mainstream where
I want to turn on ESPN in the middle of the night and not see Axe chucking or
I don't know that the thing about it is
that spike ball thing. The guys are running around a little mini trampoline throwing a ball at it. I don't understand that, man. Somebody explain that to me.
Well, hey, I don't know that you'll ever see the game of billiards ever come back to mainstream television, because I think mainstream television is changing so much. I think where your biggest platform is going to be some type of internet service that's providing this coverage of pool, whether it's us or, like I said, the POV pool or Q Sports International, Q Sports Live up in Canada, which I really love them guys. I think them guys do a great job. Anytime them guys put on something, I'm always watching. I just think the commentators are great, up there. I think they do a wonderful job. But anyways, so I just don't think that you'll ever see billiards in that sense come back to a mainstream like an ESPN or a Fox Sports or whatever. I mean, it'd be nice. It would be really nice if it happened, because that means that there'd be huge money behind it.
Right, they're not. Yeah, and that is an issue. I think Matt Snyder you are now the king of the comments right now.
Well, we'll just talk about Matt Snyder right now.
Is it time for your stuff?
Yes.
It's time for our awesome segment right here, Hollywood's Pigeon Coop Call Out, where he talks about all the great grudge matches that we want to see or trying to get lined up.
And boy, did we have a lot of grudge matches.
Oh my gosh, this weekend was jammed with them, buddy.
Matt Snyder. Since you've been on here comment, I see I wrote me some notes on my phone.
Look at this! This guy is prepared. I got a piece of paper. He's got notes on a phone.
Yeah, we're this is getting way too professional. This started out as just us BSing about a little bit of pool.
Turn it off.
And then we'd be done in like a half an hour, and now all of a sudden these. I don't know if you call this a podcast. I don't even know what you call this, but whatever we're doing, it's turning into quite the fiasco. Matt Snyder came in here. He took on Trent Bertlow. Now, Trent Bertlow, in his defense, he hasn't played much in the last 3 years.
Just getting back in.
But he is very good pool player. I mean, very strong open player. I would dare say at one time he was probably this close to being moved to an advanced player. He played that well. And but Matt Snyder came in here, played him. They played 8-ball races to 15. And Matt, they went hill the first set. They were racing to 15. It ends up hill. Matt had a big lead on him. Trent catches back up. They get hill, or maybe it was vice versa the other way around in the first match. I'd have to go back and look at it. I don't remember.
Did we
and they backed? Yes,
I did stream that.
Yes, we
streamed
it. Yeah.
You're right. There was so much going on this weekend. I'm sorry. How many matches did I stream this weekend?
Well, we're going to get to them. I got a list of them right here. Yes, I got a list of them right here.
Okay, keep your list. I got it because he's freaking out. I think the chat rooms. John McKibben is in our chat box, and he was the one that you heard dinging during our call.
Okay.
He was trying to give us a call. John McKibben, who some of you might remember, he played up there in Lanark with us. He is calling out James Brashaw. He wants to play James Brashaw. It's out there.
Well, all you got to do is just post something up. Post it on my Pigeon Coop page. Post it on the TNT Tournaments page.
I don't know if John's in the Pigeon Coop.
Well, if he's on the TNT Tournaments
yeah,
page, you can
TNT.
post it wherever you want. Work it out with James, and then once you guys get the details worked out, and then we can start promoting it. I mean, because that's the biggest thing with these grudge matches. Is you get two guys that'll start barking at each other, or we get them interested in playing, and then, well, this guy's got to, go this, or this guy's got this day open. I don't know. You guys figure out the dates.
Right.
You figure out the times that you want to play. We'll work it out, whether we can.
Right. We will help facilitate things, but we're not going to. We don't set up.
Yeah,
the
because
matches.
everybody thinks that I'm the matchmaker, which
we're
I
just
try to.
instigators.
Yes, I'm definitely an instigator.
We are instigators of
Yes.
these things. We want to see it happen. We don't set it up.
Right.
We want to see it and we want to show it to people.
Well,
All right,
I have had to set a lot of them
Well,
up,
he
which
d-
I don't mind.
and he does. He likes it.
I don't mind. Yes, I don't mind setting up the matches. I can generally. I generally got. I mean, I've watched a lot of people play pool. Now, this gentleman here, I haven't seen him play, so I honestly I don't.
We never streamed anything.
I don't know. But
And he's saying anytime, anything, he'll play. He play James. But they barked at each other a lot up there in Lanark at Dave's place and a couple of our tournaments. He's a good guy. It would be an interesting match.
But okay, so back to where we
Back
were.
to where
We
you
had Mike Schneider
And Trent Burt.
Schneider. He played Trent Bertlow. And they are going to be having a rematch. It's coming up. I can't remember. I know that it's coming up here in a few days, or
I haven't seen
within the next week or something like that. That's coming up. So we are going to be putting that back on. Now, whether it'll be on the TNT tournament page or I don't know, might just have it on. A lot of these matches will go on. I have a camera and everything set up here just at the Pigeon Coop, and
really nice.
we
guy.
don't really run. We really don't run any. I mean, you just have the sound and stuff going, and you can watch the matches and stuff like that.
I like to call it raw.
Yes.
Very raw.
Yeah. So they played two sets. They went hill the first set, and then they backed and jacked it. And Matt ended up getting the W over Trent. I mean, he beat him 15 to I'm gonna say 12 or 11, whatever it was. Huh?
I can't remember. Did I? Yeah, I did. I can't remember.
He had a big lead on him, and Trent dug his way back into it, and almost it was kind of like the Will Thompson Anthony Garcia match. I mean, Matt had him dominated, and all of a sudden, here come Trent, just climbed back into the match. But Matt ended up shutting the door on him. He did win. The rematch is set. So, and that was a good matchup. That was a good matchup to watch.
Good.
It was competitive.
I'm gonna look up the score. You
I believe it was 15 to 11 or 15 to 12.
I'll find it.
Something.
I do
like
apologize, guys. It wasn't memorable. I streamed a lot of matches this weekend.
we also had a grudge match between. This was a rematch too, from a while back. We had Brett Hopkins that took on Bill Lilly. I call him Bill on the Hill Lilly.
Oh yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah, that was just a match that we streamed here. I just ran on the Pigeon Coop page, I believe. If you go back to my page, you can go back and you can watch that match. I don't believe we had any commentary on it, but it was just a match that we watched. They played, they rematched, and it kind of went like I thought. I mean, they played one 8-ball, one 9-ball, and they split. Brett winning one and Bill winning the other. So it was a competitive match. I mean, they're both, say, middle of the road open players, maybe just a smidge below, definitely above novice, in between the middle of open player, middle of the road, somewhere right in that ballpark. And they both play decent, both play pocketed balls. Bill hasn't been playing that long. Brett hasn't been playing that long. They've probably been playing competitive pool maybe for a couple of years, and they've both made some progress, and they both played well. So it was nice to see that match. And then Brett stepped up a little bit in shall we say skill level, and he took on Donnie Koltoff and pretty much got it handed to him.
Yeah, Brent and Don, 9-4, 9-7, 9-6.
Yeah, and Donald's just a little bit better player than what Brett is. But Brett, I mean, you got to give him credit. I mean, he's considered an open player, as is Don. I don't care who argues with me. Don is an open player.
Yeah, Brett's putting the work in.
Yeah, definitely. He's definitely, before this whole COVID-19 thing he was down there at Froggy's because they have free pool down there. He was down there working on his game all the time and hitting balls, and he hasn't been able to do that. And like I said, he hasn't been playing that long, so it's not like
He's not real seasoned. I mean,
no, he's not. He's pretty green yet, and he stepped up to the plate. He wanted to play Don, and Don, took him to the cleaners, and that's just how it works sometimes. But they're both considered open players. Like I said, I don't care who argues with me about it. Don is an open player. He's a good open player, but he's an open player. And so, and then you had, if I can get my battery to stay alive long enough for me to keep this, and then, and this is where all the controversy came in. Donald decides, all right, I want to see where I'm at against, an advanced player. And then he also played Rick Carrillo, who arguably, Rick Carrillo is definitely a master player in 8-ball. Is he a master player in a rotation game? My opinion, no. My opinion, he'd be a good advanced player, but I think Rick Carrillo is just not. It's just not something that he normally does. I mean, it is 8-ball, his game, and he can play 8-ball with anybody. I mean, he's just as good as anybody. It's just. I think in the 9-ball, in his 9-ball game or 10-ball game, I think it's just something he just doesn't work on. His break is mediocre at best, and that's what hurts him in that game. He's capable of running rack after rack after rack after rack. So if he was to come over, like for example, if Rick came over here and worked on his game, worked on his break, and got it down, I mean, he could play rotation pool with anybody too.
Although, and you say that, but the first set they played, he steamrolled the heck out of Don, and they played 10-ball.
Yeah, well,
and he was actually breaking pretty good in that one. So I mean, it was pretty rare.
And speaking of Rick Carrillo's break,
oh my God,
we'll get this one out of the way right now. If you go back and you can watch this, and
we made some clips. There's one on we made 2 different clips on the TNT page. We posted them. There's a YouTube version which shows you the whole game because it was the weirdest freaking game of 9-ball I've ever seen. Rick broke and made 6
balls on the break.
6 balls on the break and didn't have a shot on the one.
No, the cue ball was down there at this end of the table. The 9-ball was kind of in the way, and he tried to like masse around it because he was shooting at the, I don't know if it was the 2-ball.
He had the.
We need to have that door closed. The bugs are coming in here bad now. But anyways, now where was I? Oh yeah. He tried to masse around the 9-ball, the 2-ball, or whatever the ball was down here at this end, and he clipped the 9-ball trying to go by it, and then it was the weirdest thing. I mean, when you see him hit the break, and you see all these balls just rolling in the pocket, and that would be my luck. I'd make 6 balls on the break and be hooked, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, it was some good audio too. There was
so Don stepped up to he wanted to see where he stood with Rick. I mean, obviously he's just not that caliber. He got beat up pretty good. But that's how you find out where you're at, and that's not like they played for big money. They played cheap.
It was exactly what it was. It was just kind of seeing where you are,
And you got to do that sometimes. You got to step up to the plate because I keep saying this. I've always said this. You are only going to play as well as the people that you play with.
Exactly.
And if your circle of people that you're playing with is only 8, 10 guys, and you're just used to playing with them 8, 10 guys or 4 or 5 guys, whatever it might be, your game's never going to get any better. How you get better at this game is you step out of your comfort zone, which Donald did, and you got to give him props.
Mm-hmm.
He stepped out of his comfort zone, and he took on somebody heads up that he has no business playing heads up.
Mm-hmm.
Can't play him heads up, and he did it anyways. And he also played Mikey Goodman, who Mikey Goodman is definitely out of his league. He's a better player. He can't, it is what it is. But he ended up getting a set from him.
He did get a set.
But that just goes to show you in a shorter race, I mean, anything can happen. In a longer race, Mikey will beat him. If they're racing to 50, Mikey beat him every single time. And that's not a knock against Donald's game.
Right.
It's just Donald's game just is not at an advanced level yet. He will get there because he's putting in the work. He wants to get there. And that's the good thing about it, because there's some guys that actually want to get better. I know there's some people that have played as an open level for 15, 20 years, and that's just they never go anywhere.
They're well, and like we say, you're not losing, you're learning.
That's right. And then we had okay, and then we had that match, and then what was the other one here?
Goodman saying he plays like an open. There were a few times there where we were
Well, in your defense, Michael Goodman, you haven't played a lot of pool in the last few
No.
years either, and I've hit some balls with you, and yeah, you're playing, and to say that you play an open player is like a bad thing. I mean, we got open players out there that are really good open players. That Kurt Colum that I played, he's an open player. He played strong.
Yeah.
He played really well. Stu Key, if you want to play an open player that can play, go play Stu. Good luck. That's all I can tell you, because I'm sure Stu, even as a open player, would play most advanced players heads up. But he's right there. I mean, he's right there. Actually, Stu, I don't mean to put out a secret, but you probably should be an advanced player. And I don't know if they've moved you up yet or not, but if they haven't, they probably should.
So what he's saying is, be lucky he's not the guy.
Right. Yeah, if it was up to me. But but yeah, Stu's got a great game. I mean, he played up this was before the whole COVID thing came in, and it was I believe it was 9-ball, and he took second place up there at the Karam Room, and he probably should have won that tournament. But circumstances at the end, short races to 6, whatever, things happen, But yeah, so Stu plays really, really, really well. Another open player that plays fantastic, Daniel Johnson. I mean, I haven't seen him play a whole lot, but I've heard stories that he will step up to the plate with pretty much any advanced player and play him. So
just saw him talking in Quad Cities group about playing somebody.
Yeah, he plays really good. Him and I have barked at each other, and just with my health issues and stuff like that, I just haven't had. My biggest thing is the stamina. I mean, I can play. It's just a matter of how long I can play. Now, I played Jim Fridley last night here. We played for 3 hours. I felt pretty good. I mean, I spent most of the day in bed today, but I got 3 hours in last night. That was pretty good for me, and I'm the kind of player that I've had Terry Johnson come down here and we played 10, 12 hours.
Oh yeah. Terry will play you.
Yeah.
So
anyways,
this other match, I know you kind of been wanting to talk about it, because there was a little bit of an issue with Mr. Welker and Mr. Oder.
I don't think there wasn't really any issue.
There was some conversation that went on in the chats during the match about a spot and this and that, and because they played the first one heads up.
Well, Steve Oder played Jason Welker. They played heads up 8-ball. Well, Jason gave him the spot in the next game.
Right.
And there's the bugs.
Yep.
Yeah, and the thing about it is we'd heard, now mind you, I haven't seen Steve play a lot. I've seen him play, and he plays well. Steve plays really good.
He's a good shot.
Yeah, and at times Steve can definitely play as a middle advanced level player to an upper advanced level player. I've seen him put racks together. I've seen him play really, really strong. Now, he is, I would say, a top end open player for sure. And Jason Welker is definitely, some would argue, should be a master player, but he is categorized as an advanced player right now if you go by by Big E standards that he has him playing in. But definitely Jason is
he's right up there.
So, but anyways, they were playing 8-ball, which Jason doesn't play a lot of 8-ball, and sometimes this does make a difference between what game you're playing and what advanced level you are. For example, I just gave you a perfect example. Rick Carrillo in 8-ball is a master player. That's what he plays. That's his game. Now, Jason Welker is an advanced player, and if we're going to put money on it, I'll put money on Jason Welker as an advanced player playing Rick Carrillo in a rotation game any day of the week. And if anybody wants that bet, come get some, because I'll take all that you can bet. Now, if they're going to play 8-ball, we'll flip it around the other direction. So it all depends, because Jason spends a lot of time working on his rotation game, where Rick spends all his time playing 8-ball. It is what it is.
Right.
It's a completely different animal, and we could sit here and beat this to death one way or the other.
That's a whole other show.
Yes, right. But the thing about it is so it is what it is. So Steve and Jason played, and Jason dominated him. I mean, he flat out played him. He beat him the first set, 10-5?
Both sets actually were 10-5.
Yeah, 10 to we'll get into the second set here in just a second. But he beats him 10-5, and people were saying, well, he should be giving him a spot. I don't know. I don't always work out who's given what spot to whatever. They decided that they wanted to play Steve came here and played him, and Jason, like I said, Jason, he ran him over. That's just just how it happens sometimes. Now, is Jason Welker in 8-ball race to 5 or race to 10 5 games better than Steve? No, he's not. He's probably a couple games better for sure. But they worked it out, and then they played another set, and Jason offered up a 2-game spot right away. He said, "If you want it," Steve took it. They played again, and once again, they didn't play huge money. I don't know exactly what they played for. I got a good idea what they played for. I think I know what they played for, but it wasn't life-changing money or anything like that.
No pink slips or anything.
No, they played for a couple of good meals, a couple nights out of good meals. That's what they played for. But anyways, and so it is what it is. He did give him the 2-game spot, and he still beat him 10-5.
It started off a little. The second set started off a little bit different than the first. Steve came out a lot stronger in the second set.
Yeah, Jason made a big comeback, and but that's what Jason does. I mean, Jason, and here, when we talk about stepping up to the plate and seeing where you stand, so on and so forth, I think a very good match, and I think it would be closer than what some people would say. And there might have to be a small spot involved, but I'd like to see Jason Welker take on Pun in an 8-ball match. I really do. I think Jason can play with him. I mean, now I know I'm going to get a lot of slack for that, and I'm not. It's not no disrespect to Pun at all, because Pun's game's really good. But I've watched Jason's game evolve over the last 4 or 5 years. And I've watched him play, and if Jason's got his head about him, he can play with anybody.
And it's something I was saying during those matches is that watching Jason play, you can really see the mental part of his game. Really, I mean, the guy, he's I'm not saying that other people don't do it, but with Jason, it's real visible. You can really see.
Well, Jason's a very fundamental player. He likes he makes sure his footwork's in the right spot. He makes sure his cue's in the right spot. He makes sure his hands on the cue in the right spot. He's a very meticulous player. He plays golf the same way. I've hung out with Jason for many years. He can be irritating as hell watching him play pool or play golf or anything that he does, because he sometimes will put you to sleep trying to get adjusted just to make one shot. It drives me nuts. Sometimes it drives me nuts. And he's really lucky when he plays me. I hate that part of it too.
And Pun, just so you know, he said that, not me.
I'm saying that Pun would probably have to give him a little bit of weight, but I honestly think, hey, maybe I'm way off on it. Maybe I'm way off.
It'd be interesting to see. I'm not gonna disagree.
But Jason, I think probably. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that think he should already be a master player. I don't disagree with that, because
his play time has kind of gone. He kind of goes. Hasn't Jason has kind of had that? He's been strict with that. He was playing a bunch, and then he wasn't. But now he's back to playing more because he got himself a nice diamond, and he's playing.
Oh yeah, he's got a really super nice diamond table down in his basement. So there you go.
Well, I think if he could, he would, Pun. But right now the finances aren't working that way for it to do it. But he would.
Will Thompson called Jason Welker a turd.
Yeah, dude, let's catch up on some of the comments, because haven't been ignoring you guys. I'd like to let Hollywood go on his thing, because he's good at what he does. My lovely wife, who I don't know if you saw that, 22 years tomorrow.
She's well, congratulations!
Managed to go 22 years without killing me. I'm really proud of her. Good job.
The surprising part.
She just called out Joe. She wants to play Joe Gonzalez.
Well, there you go, Joe Gonzalez. You got yourself a game.
And Trent is reminding us that the second set was 15-11.
Yes, I knew it was something like that.
John McKibben is still going on in the comments, talking about if James won't play him, he'll play Donnie Koltoff. Trent says it's Sam.
Well, I don't know who this James guy is, but tell him I'll play him.
Okay. Okay. Nothing against James. Or not,
I have no
John.
idea. Is he an open player?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tell him I'll play him. Bring your money. I'll play you.
At some point, yeah. I have to look. I can't remember how he. I have to remember. I'm trying to remember how he played in those tournaments.
I'm just barking. It's okay.
Well, that's what he does. No, he hasn't been drinking, but they've been pumping him with some stuff. He's slightly medicated.
Yeah,
he's
I got a lot of medications in me.
Trent says that Sam and himself are playing on Monday night.
Yeah, well, I was going to get to that. We got
Okay.
the matches that are coming up this week. We do.
All right.
Now
so-
we did cover Don Koltoff and Mikey Goodman. Goodman did beat him. I mean, they played 3 sets. Mikey come out a set ahead, and we covered the Will and Pun. That was 50-47.
Great. match.
The Welker Steve Otter match. I did tell Steve that I'd play him too. He wants to play 8 ball. 8 ball tends to put me to sleep. We might be able to work out something where we play maybe a set of 8 ball and a set of 9 ball or something like that. But we do got the match between Trent Bertlow is going to take on Sam Maggio. We just watched. Oh, and we didn't talk about that match. Sam
Yeah.
Maggio took on Ken
Harville.
Harville. Yes, Ken Harville. That was they played 10 hours or so. 10 long, grueling hours.
I didn't see that whole thing. I was watching part of it.
And I've never seen the table was a mess. It looked like a battlefield when they got done.
All I know is I had to plug my ear every time Ken picked up the chalk.
I've never heard anybody, Ken Harville, if you're listening, I love you, brother, and I appreciate all the help. But holy chalkus cues, Batman! That guy just chalks it so loud you could. I'm quite sure you could hear it. I mean, he drove an hour. And
I don't think I heard it on the stream. I heard it at my house.
That's what I'm saying. I was in the house taking a nap for some of that match, and every once he chalk his cue and wake me up. That's how hard he chalks that cue. He makes sure that chalk's on there.
Yeah, I heard Fridley talking about when you guys were playing. I heard him talking a little bit on it. I just know I was watching that. Was kind
this
of
chalk right here.
Yeah, I was watching that match so in and out a little bit, and I kept coming in the weirdest spots because at one point somebody was describing in the comments, they were describing them both as women. I think one of them was named Karen or something. I don't know.
Right. Well, somebody asked me on the stream who was playing. It was obviously it was Sam and
I know
Ken
I asked at
playing,
one
and
point because I couldn't tell who the other one was.
Right.
I knew it was Ken, but
but anyways, they played for 10 grueling hours, and I knew that match would be close. Some people disagreed with me. I knew it would be close, but the only 2 sets separated them after 10 hours.
How many did they play?
Oh, I don't know how many sets they played, but they played a lot. I mean, how many ever sets you can play? I mean, when they played races to 8 ball, I think they raced to 8. When they did 9 ball, they raced to 9, and when they played 10 ball, they raced to 10. That's how I'm pretty sure.
I do remember hearing
they
that.
were doing it something similar to that. Now, like I said, I was in and out of the house, so I don't know. I didn't. I had the stream going. I tried to go over most of it, but I mean, I really honestly think in the rotation game, I think 9 ball. I think Sam has the advantage, slight advantage against Ken. I mean, I could be wrong. I think he breaks a little bit better. In the 10 ball, I think that was it was about as heads up as it could get. I think that could go either way. Sam definitely had his opportunities to beat Ken. he definitely had him pinned a couple of times, and Ken, hey, to his credit, I mean he dug down deep and he came back and won a couple of the matches that he probably shouldn't have won. So I mean that could have ended up even. Them guys were pretty close, and I think you're going to see a rematch for them. I'd like to even put something together where they do a longer race, maybe a race to 25 or 30 or something like that. And we could do a commentate on that one. That's a good match. That's a good match between them two. And they would have to work out the stakes, and they would have to work out the game and whatever it is they wanted to do, or play one, like 10 ball and 1 8 ball, or 1 9 ball and 1 8 ball, or something of that nature, because that's a good matchup, and they both play good pool. And so we have that matchup that took place, and like I said, Ken did come out a couple sets ahead. 2 sets ahead after it was all done and said with. We have the rematch between Matt Snyder and Trent Bertlow that's coming up. We have the big matchup.
Uh-oh.
We have the biggest matchup probably in Pigeon Coop history that's going to happen right here.
Oh, tomorrow.
Is it tomorrow?
Is that the one you're talking about?
I don't know. Which one are you thinking of?
I'm thinking of
Mr. Sunglasses at Night?
Oh no.
That's what I'm thinking of.
That's not. That's a Wednesday.
Oh well, right.
Yeah, I was thinking the Saturday.
But we also have James Rashall is going to be taking on Jim Fridley. They're going to play 8 ball.
Race to 18.
Race to 18 and 8 ball. that should be a really good match. That's going to be coming to you live from here at the Pigeon Coop. I don't know if you're going to come and
My plan is they're supposed to start at 6. Not
and
my
that's
plan.
tomorrow, correct?
Yeah,
And
that's my plan.
So tomorrow it'll be me and Bud.
You
We'll be
think
right.
I would miss that? That's gonna be.
That should be
epic,
good. It'd be a
dude.
good matchup. Be a good matchup. I know that James had told me that he hadn't been playing a whole lot, which is why it was surprising that he'd be calling out Jim Fridley.
Yeah.
Jim Fridley plays good 8-ball, so you better bring your A game, or you're going to get your rear end and handed to you.
Right.
Because
everybody-
actually Jim came in and we played a little bit last
Yeah,
night.
you played Jim a little bit last
Yeah,
night.
I got lucky, come out a couple games ahead, but we just James or Jim was more here just trying to get a feel of the table, just trying to whatever it wasn't much of a safety effort on either one of our parts. It was more of an offensive.
I was gonna say there was a lot more offense in those matches of
Sure.
the games I watched you guys
Sure.
play than I see from Fridley, and that's not a knock on him because
no, he
that's
was
your
just,
game. But
he came here. He wanted to get a feel
you
of the
could
table.
tell he
and-
was definitely, like you said,
Sure.
getting a feel for the table. So.
sure, yeah, and then
Oh, yeah,
So-
see, I didn't forget
so
about
we got
it. but-
that big matchup coming up, and then I think probably the biggest matchup in Pigeon Coop history.
Is-
And I know you can feel the sarcasm.
I
right?
gotta let me see if I can. You go ahead and talk it up.
Well, you get the picture up.
I'm gonna find it. Well, you go ahead and talk while I find it. It's gonna take me a second.
We have a matchup now. Neither one of these gentlemen have A games. I mean, I say that in the nicest way. I mean, they haven't played. Mike Gaither is going to be taking on Ryan Wade, and now mind you, most of the people out there in Pool Land, they're going to be like, well, who are these two guys? Well, you've never heard of them, and
We talking about? They're both legendary.
well, I mean,
Come on.
Ryan's definitely a legend in his own mind somewhere along the
I
line.
love you, Ryan. I really do.
Yeah. And I love both of these guys. And they're going to come here and they're going to play. Now, neither one of these guys are highly skilled level players. They can make balls, they pocket balls. They would both be probably considered novice players, I'd say. I don't know where their ELO rating or their Fargo rating is, but if they had both had a Fargo rating, they would probably be in the high 400s, somewhere in that ballpark. So you're going to see, and they're racing to, I believe, 15 and 8-ball or something of that nature. I don't know if it says it on the advertisement or
It
not.
does. Give me 1 second. I gotta
There
find
it is, right there.
Yeah.
Race to 18 and 8-ball. Is it? I think?
15 and 8-ball.
15 and 8
Yeah,
ball.
I'm gonna
It's going to take a while.
give me a second.
We have some prop bets going on this too. Me and Eric Marsh were talking a little bit about it, how long it would take them to complete 15 games, and I said it would definitely go over 3 hours.
Here we go. I'm gonna flop it up there so everybody can take a look at
Yeah,
it.
take a look at this one, and there's Ryan Wade with his. I wear my sunglasses at night look. And Mike Gaither, I don't know, is he shooting pool in this one? Or what-
No, that's actually at our TNT
Oh, that's-
banquet from
yeah, that
our
was at the
Sunday
banquet?
league. Yeah.
And like I said, it's not knocking either one of these guys. It should be if you want to see a competitive matchup and see a lot of pool being played, come watch Mike Gaither play Ryan Wade. We're going to put it on the Pigeon Coop page. These guys are going to duke it out. And I don't know who's going to win this one. I really don't. I went back and forth. Because at first I thought to myself, I said, Ryan's just played a lot more pool than Mike has. And I just think that he'll eventually, his time of playing the game, he'll wear Mike out and beat him, say 15-12 or
It's gonna be cool.
15-13. Yes, this
It'll
game's
be-
going to be close.
it's-
I don't suspect somebody to win 15-4, 15-5, or some crazy thing like that. I think you're going to see a competitive match, which is what this is all about, anyways.
Absolutely.
And but then I've watched Mike Gaither play the last few times I've seen him play, and I'm thinking, boy, this guy's really starting to get this game. He's really starting to understand cue ball control, and in all reality, Mike's probably played in the last 6 months, anyways. Probably played more pool than Ryan has.
He's
So-
gonna say he's been out. Hasn't he been over?
Well, he comes over here and hits balls, and so I know that and we have worked with Mike. I mean, Mike is a raw player. I mean, Mike hasn't played competitive. Well, he's never really played competitively. I mean, he's always played leagues or a little bit or
Right.
here and there, but he's never really tried to learn to play the game. And in the last about year and a half, he's really tried to pick up the game, try to learn the game, try to understand why you're hitting, with low ride or low.
Right, he definitely has the vision, and I
Sure,
think it's the
sure.
understanding part now that
Well, that's the biggest part of this game right here is just getting your knowledge, getting your head on right, and I mean, you'd be surprised how much your game will be better just by making better decisions on the table.
Right, exactly.
You know, just because this ball's sitting in the pocket doesn't mean you shouldn't be shooting this one down here first. But
Right.
whatever, working on your pattern play and so on and so forth. But and so neither one of these guys are real high level skilled players, but they both have a competitive edge. They both want to play and they both want to win.
Oh,
and
yeah.
they're putting a few bucks on this match.
Yeah,
So this game is not like they're playing for $5, or a night out at the McDonald's. They're putting a few bucks on this match, which I was surprised the amount of money that they're actually playing for. But it's going to be competitive. It's going to be fun to watch. So yeah,
I'm interested to see. I saw a little bit of some side action. I'm wondering if it's going to pick up over the next few days. I'm hoping it does. I'm hoping, and don't get me wrong. And like I said, we're definitely not knocking anybody when we talk about this, because there's a few things that we're doing. We're all, first and foremost, we're all about growing and promoting the sport.
Absolutely.
And we're not going to blow smoke up your ass about anything. We're not going to we're going to be honest with you, because you don't want people sitting here lying to you about crap. We're just going to do that. But when we do it, we're not dogging you. We're not trying to be like, oh, you suck, you should give up. We're not like that, man. If you have the desire to play, no matter how you play, you're good.
Yeah,
you're good
absolutely.
with us.
I mean, I always tell people, there's I guess I made this comment a little bit earlier. I know some open players that have been open players for 15, 20 years. Well, some of them open players, the only time they ever play is pool league night.
Right.
Or the occasional tournament, and that's all they got time to do. They got families, they got kids, they got all sorts of things going on, and they just don't have the time.
But they're playing.
But they play. But when they play, they want to play, and when they do play, they want to be able to play a competitive game with somebody.
Right.
So when they come to us and say, when somebody like that comes to me and says, "Well, who's a competitive match for me?" You think they'll be like, "Hollywood, who do you think I can play?" Well, I can go through a list of players that I've seen you play, and I've seen this guy play. And you guys don't know each other, so it'd be great to put you both out of your comfort level. Like, for example, Mike Gaither and Ryan Wade's never played against each other. They're going to be uncomfortable playing one another. I mean, they know each other, but they're not the best of friends. I mean, they're not hanging out and drinking beers together.
That's not a tight circle with the two. They know
no,
each other.
Well, they know each other. Yeah, I mean, they're friendly.
They may have come across each other in league play here and there.
But I mean, these are two guys. Ryan's. He works. He's got other things going on in his life. Mike's, married. He's got work. He's got this going on. Neither one of these guys got pool tables at their house. The only time they come over here occasionally play, or they play their leagues and stuff like that. But for the most part, it's not like these guys are serious pool players, but they're competitive. They like competitive action. So they wanted to find out who I could get together to when Ryan was talking about, well, who do I play? When they were talking online, what was it, last week? I said, well, there's the game right there.
And I know Ryan's been trying
versus Ryan Wade.
Ryan's been trying to play me, but it's not that I'm ducking people. I haven't been playing. I got a table at my house, and it's been months since I played on it because it's a workbench. And
if you ever seen him play, you can see why if I was him, I'd be ducking people too.
Alan Martin says he wants to call out he says Walker. I'm assuming he's talking about Welker,
Jason.
Yeah.
Well, there you go, Alan. Bite off more than you can chew. I mean, but hey, hey, more power to you. If you want to play Jason, you just step right up to the plate, give it a shot. Because I mean, Alan Martin plays good pool. I've played him. I know. We've played several sets. He's up on me one set. You're up on me one set, Alan.
One set.
So you ain't beating me that bad. And I'll play you again anytime you want. And he's fun to play with because he's grumpy. Alan Martin's a grumpy guy. He's grumpy in a good way. I love his fire. I love his attitude. I love the way he plays the game. And once again, he's competitive. He wants to win every game he plays. I don't care who he's playing, and I don't care if he's playing for $0. He wants to win that game. That's what I like about Alan.
That's all you can ask for out of players is they have to want to play. Another match we talked about last week, I believe we were talking about it. One of our close friends, a league operator, Kaylee.
Yep.
She was wanting a match, and I think we
did find a match.
I think
for
we
you,
found
Kaylee.
her a match.
Amy Herbens decided to accept a challenge from Kaylee. We're going to get the date set up, the time set up. Well, I don't know what they're going to play for.
She said, and I quote, with a very stern and demanding voice, said that she has to come here.
I think Kaylee will have no problems coming here playing.
No.
I mean, she's
And they would
wanted
work-
to come down here and play. She talked about which
Yep.
I know I didn't get into this week, and we'll probably get into it more that next week. And I'll touch on this real quick. You know, a lot of people still ask me about the Pigeon Coop tournament. I'm still waiting for the leagues. We got Teresa here actually tonight, which I'm going to talk to her a little bit more about that, and we'll have more updates come next week. But you know, the reason that I'm waiting to hold this tournament off is I want the leagues to get settled, because a lot of people like to come over and get their match in before they go to leagues.
Right.
And so I want to be able to coincide it with all that. So once we figure out what Illinois leagues are going to be happening or not happening, you know, we'll determine how I'm going to put this tournament together. And my tournament's just a fun tournament. It can be ran anytime, so it's not like it's a huge issue. But I want the leagues to get settled. I want people to know what nights they're going to be playing. You know, so on and so forth. So we'll get that figured out, and that'll be hopefully maybe in another week we'll have some more information.
I'm
on
gonna
that.
let you butcher that. And from what I've read, it's sounding like it's gonna be at least June 26th before we even have the option to move into the next phase of what Illinois
Right.
is doing with their phase thing.
I know that they said something about. I seen something about phase 4 coming up within a week or something. or
Right,
whatever.
and there's been a lot of talk of it being a week or two, and I've seen a couple dates, and the one that keeps popping out is June 26th. But you have to keep in mind, Phase 4 still doesn't give us full capacity. It might get us back to playing pool, but it might not give us full capacity, and that might not be
right.
It might not allow us to get leagues going again.
Well, here, I mean, I don't know how they're going to do it, and I know bar owners are going to have to make a decision of, you know, what they're going to do, what they're not going to do. But I would think, you know, if we could, we get pool nights, get a pool night set, and say, okay, the pool players are going to be in here from this time to this time. You know, we were only going to allow certain. We got to get them in, got to get their leagues in, get them playing, because you know, pool players, they spend money, they're going to drink beer, they're going to play the machines, they're going to do whatever. So you know, it's guaranteed money. You know, you got 2 teams, you got 4 people on this team, 4 people, that's 8 people, plus, you know, might bring the wives or whatever, or the husbands, or whatever the case might be. I don't know how they're going to work that out.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see how it all works out, because that's the main thing is we need to get the economy going.
We need to get the economy going, and then to get more on our bases. You know, we want to get back to playing pool, but like I said, and I'm just trying to keep things as real as I can. We have to remember that, you know, this is the date that they're saying, but you have to remember it's
tentative.
It's tentative, and it might not happen like we need it to happen. It may not happen like we need it to happen to get everything going.
Right.
You know, and we may have to make concessions, like you're saying. We may have to do things a little different than we're used to. Some leagues may end up having to try multiple nights. You know what I mean?
I even was going to talk to like a Bob Steinhagen or Teresa or whatever, and find out and say, you know, tell them, hey, I know it's probably not the best thing or whatever, but if we need to get teams in and get their matches in or something like that, they come here to the Pigeon Coop and
right. There
their
there
games
are
in.
options if we come together as a community. I'm sure we can start getting, because we're getting to a point now where things are going to start putting nationals and state tournaments in jeopardy.
Yeah,
Because
won't be able to get enough time in.
and hopefully he doesn't get mad that I say this, but you know, I talked to John Lewis recently, and we were talking, and he made a good point that, you know, there was a question about, and I think we talked about this at one point. There was a question about, you know, what happens if the leagues don't do this and we can't get qualified for state and blah and everything like that. But it comes down to, the biggest thing is going to be, getting qualified for state and things like that's not going to be an issue if we don't get leagues going. There won't be state tournaments and national tournaments, because those tournaments rely on those sanction fees from those leagues playing.
Yeah,
if we don't get things going, then you know, then we're it's a vicious cycle.
And then and you know, like I said, I mean, we're just gonna have to see how it all plans out. Hopefully it'll all work out. Even if they have to double up nights to get enough play in.
Right.
You know, I mean, you know, you might have to play on Sunday night and play on Monday night or
Right.
whatever. If you're dedicated, if you're wanting to go to these state tournaments, if you want to get qualified to go to Vegas or whatever it might be, you might have to.
There's probably some people that aren't going to have a problem with having
the divorce rate might go up.
Right.
I'm not
Honey,
sure.
I gotta play 2 nights a week, man. It's gotta happen. I mean, it's just gotta happen. Alan says he's not grumpy.
He's Hey, we're about done here.
We are.
But Alan, I mean, I love you to death, but I don't think there's anybody that wouldn't agree with me that you're slightly grumpy.
Well, he's actually telling you that, yeah, you're bad, because obviously Will thinks he's grumpy.
He's grumpy.
He's grumpy.
He's a grumpy guy.
Matt Snyder's asking if there's a match here on Sunday.
I'd have to check it. We've talked about it so much I can't remember.
I
I know
got
that we got Trent and Matt with the rematch. We've got
Well,
Ryan.
that's who's asking is Matt.
Oh, well then I don't.
Maybe that's why he's asking. Maybe
just
they want to do
when
that.
we get off the air and I get a chance to go through with who's playing what. Because the problem is there's no pool tables available and there's no pool halls available, so everybody wants to play here, and I have no problems with that. I'll accommodate anybody that wants to come and play.
And we have
It's just a matter of I've got so many people that have asked me for this time or that time or this time slot or that time slot, which is working out great. I have no problems because I want people to play.
Right.
So
we can get you one of those cool Cardwell's calendars.
Yeah, give me something hanging up and I can start writing things down.
Right.
I do put most of it in my phone. So, but I will let you know, Matt. I will get with you and we'll figure it out. I know that Michael Herrera is looking for a match. A grudge match, and I will work on setting you something up because I know you've been ducking me. Like Danny Blackbird ducks me, Jeffrey Hawks ducks me.
That's somebody I want to see play is Danny. I like watching Danny play.
You get Danny Blackburn down here because I want a piece of him.
And if you know Danny, tell him.
Well, Danny knows I put it on the page all the time. He's been he don't even answer me. John Bresley ducks me.
Does John Bresley even shoot pool anymore?
He's got 10,000 pool sticks. He should.
I just saw a post where he bought like 3 or 4 more.
Yeah, like he needs more pool sticks. He needs more pool sticks. Like he needs another hole in it. But anyways, folks,
it's been a great show. We've talked so much that I'm tired of me.
That's the longest one we've done.
But
so far.
This has been a good show. We talked to Anthony Garcia about his great match with Will, and I really appreciate him taking the time and talking to us. That was awesome.
Yeah, it was a great interview. I knew it was going to be.
I did too, and we've had a lot of great interaction with everybody who's been watching. We really appreciate you guys being part of the show, jumping in the comments and talking to us. Had some people definitely try to call, which was neat. And hopefully we'll get around to doing stuff like that. Coming up next week, our plans are to talk some more grudge matches, of course, and talk about some of the ones that happened because there are some going on.
More league information.
We will hopefully know some more league because over the next couple...
Update on the Pigeon Coop tournament.
Yep, update on the Pigeon Coop tournament as he finds out a little more about that. Things are going to start changing from here on out. Things are starting to look up for pool and hopefully things like that. We're always looking to talk to players live here. If you guys want to, we'd love to sit and chat with you guys about what you've been doing during everything, how you're staying in stroke.
For sure.
And just, in general, as I said, we're all about shining the light on players and people to do things. If you're a venue out there doing something and you want to call in and tell people about it, call in. We'll definitely help you out. Maybe next week we'll get to talk to Calvin from CJP Billiards. You can check that out on Facebook. Real quick before we go, I'm going to show you. I completely forgot to do it. You saw on the score line down there. We brought to you by CBM General Construction.
Yes, we cannot forget about Bill Builds It Best. If you got any construction work around the house, whether it's windows, gutters, heating, cooling system, if you need anything built, remodel the bathroom, remodel the kitchen, Bill Lilly is the guy to call, and he's going to put the number up there. Because we've had so much to talk about, we gave him plenty of advertising last week.
We advertised. I'm sure some of you guys
plug, and we will put. I put some advertisement up for you too on the Pigeon Coop too on their Billy. But if Bill Builds It Best, CBM Construction, them guys do great work. I got to see Bill yesterday. It was the first time I'd seen him in a while, so it was nice to see you yesterday. Him and his wife always been wishing me well with my health issues and stuff that I've got going on. So I do appreciate their all their best wishes and stuff too. So, Bill, I love you, brother. You build it the best. There's no doubt about it.
Well, and it's been Hollywood as always a great, awesome show. I'm going to leave you on a couple little promos about some stuff. I'm going to show you some information about CBM, and I'm going to show you a little bit about TNT Fights, and we will definitely talk to you next week. Don't forget all those great venues opening up for outdoor service. Make sure you're out there supporting them and doing what you can. We will see you guys next week. We appreciate all the interaction. We appreciate you guys hanging out and watching us. Don't forget to like and subscribe with our YouTube, and of course hit like and follow on the Facebook page and turn on your live notifications on both so you don't miss anything.
And you can always send me something to the Pigeon Coop too. I'll add you. I'll
Yep.
add you to it. The only thing that I ask is you just don't spam the page up with a bunch of advertisements. That's all I ask.
If you're
want selling a queue or something like that, that's one thing.
Right.
But if you've got something that you're, looking to make money off of or something like that, you can call us at the TNT page, and we'll provide advertising space for you.
We've got some pretty incredibly affordable advertising rates.
Yes,
and,
absolutely.
And we're doing we've got a pretty good reach, so we're definitely open to that. Give us a call, 833-868-7665. Hollywood has always been awesome. We will see you guys next week, and watch the TNT page for more. And actually, we'll see you again Saturday night.
Tomorrow night.
Yep, tomorrow night for that Jim Fridley, James Brashaw match. Thanks a bunch for watching. We'll see you guys next week. Build your dreams. Call CBM Construction, 815-716-6727. Offering all your construction needs, from remodeling to new builds, as well as heating and cooling services and installation. If it needs done, CBM is ready to serve you with their professional service. Inside and out, Bill builds it best. Licensed, bonded, and insured, CBM Construction has you covered. Check them out on Facebook and give them a call to get your estimate today. CBM Construction.